like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should.
What's up, Universal? Welcome, everyone. This is going to be kind of maybe get back 3 series out of this. I think the first series clearly will start off with dating, and then, I had some thoughts about like child rearing as it relates to like the skin complexion of the children, and we probably kind of lean into some of that. We see tidbits of that in what we're going to talk about today as it relates to probably dating and the dynamics there. And so no better person to discuss these things than our resident psychologist himself, Universal Joe. So I'll let you take it away from here, Universal. Go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been having a string of conversations really about just the dynamics amongst Black women. And we've stumbled across a pattern that has been talked about for a while. It's not 100% new, but the difference in light skin versus dark skin Black women and how that shows up in mating choice, how that shows up professionally for them. I think education may even play a little bit of a role, but definitely socially and how they respond to one another. And also in their comparison to white women as well. So one thing that we want to do is just kind of tease this out a little bit. Again, not a new concept. It's been going on for a while. For myself, John, I came across this phenomenon really all my life. I've seen the difference. Living in Minnesota, we have a lot of biracial women here. A lot of them, and they always got preferential treatment. They were always, preferred from Black men over things. We don't have a ton of dark skinned women, but dark skinned women do get play too. But typically, what I've noticed is a lot of dark skinned women, especially professional dark skinned women, they get more play from white dudes. White dudes love them a dark skin, especially if she got natural hair. A dark skinned woman with natural hair, they get a lot of attention from white guys. But this is not a new phenomenon. We've seen this with Whitney. I don't know if you remember the show A Different World, her being the lead character, light-skinned, pretty woman, Jasmine Guy, and how a lot of people would flock towards that. And I remember that used to create a lot of controversy. So this light-skinned, dark-skinned thing amongst women, I think, is a topic that has not gone away and has manifested over time.
One of the things that I bumped into this whole dark skin or just the Black women thing, but clearly the light skinned women have more success, was fibroids. Are you familiar with fibroids at all?
Yeah, I am.
So many Black women hold off on having children because they have professional careers that they want to advance. And here's one thing that I noticed in dating women as they got older. Take a look at this, Universal. You ever see my screen?
Yeah, we can see it.
All right, and so you see here, what does it say? Black women are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop fibroids than white women by age 35. About half of Black women have fibroids, and by age 50, 80% do. And fibroids really prevent you from having children.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you're aware of that. And so by the fact that it prevents them from having children, or by the fact that they're waiting so long, that it is hindering them from having children. So that's how I kind of stumbled into this whole dynamic of Black women and waiting to have children and stuff like that. And here's one of the consequences, as you can see here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think a lot of Black women have dove into the modern ways of the world. They got to get out here and work. A lot of them have bought into getting higher education, not just any education, but keep going, get that master's degree, get that PhD if you can. And that comes with the trade-off of a family a lot of times. And that's a decision that a lot of them are finding now. As I get closer to 40, I ain't quite 40 yet, but as I get closer to 40, a lot of my peers, a lot of women who are 34 and up, they are looking to settle down. And a lot of the women that I know, they're professional women. So they've gone and they've had their careers and they've advanced, and they're having a really hard time finding men because of that decision that they've made. And especially black men. And let's be honest, a lot of black men aren't in that quote unquote position where they don't meet the standard for what a lot of these women are asking for. So their options are quite limited, but they are struggling. If they don't already have kids, they are struggling to find a husband and create a family.
It's a topic that keeps coming up on the main channel whenever, no matter what the topic or the intended topic, dating and primarily women and the complicated dynamics there. You remember Hood Conservative talking about what was he talking about? Some domestic violence, child
support. Yep.
And so, and I would imagine that too. And I think I heard someone say on the stream yesterday that, the light-skinned women, you can't just hit them anywhere because they'll, just being very crude, but, they'll bruise.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe facetious a little bit, but the point was being made at the same time. There's some thought was being made to what he was saying. But you say you had some articles and we've been batting back and forth some things. So let's get into it, Universal.
Yeah, let's get into it. But first, let's show that photo. I'm gonna share the photo to kick us off.
Okay.
This is from
the audience too. Before you get started, what should the poll question be, Universal? Do you prefer?
Do you prefer, dark-skinned women or light-skinned women?
Oh, how about are dark-skinned or light-skinned women more attractive? Light-skinned women, black, more attractive.
What's up, Tyrone? Good morning, Helen. What's up, Andre?
Do you find light-skinned black women more attractive? Yeah. Guys, answer the poll. Honestly, if you can, we would love to hear your feedback here. So go ahead. You got the first article up there, Universal.
Well, I'm gonna share the photo to get us kicked off because I think this is the center of what's really happening and what we're talking about. So, folks, what you're looking at here is a Christmas party photo from 2 years ago of the New York Knicks. Now, several of these players are on different teams now, but this is from a couple seasons ago, and this sparked a lot of controversy in the black social media space, or what most people used to call black Twitter. It's all over now. But this is a photo of several of the players. Now, 3 of the players here are black or will be considered black. The other 3 are white. But what do you notice in this photo? There's a couple things that I'd noticed off the bat. The first thing is the black players, as you can see here, we have Jalen Brunson, who's like the star player of the team. He's got him a nice little flat back Supreme. She's got some curves on her. She's a brunette. Mm. Here we got I forgot this dude's name. He has a weird last name, but he's actually mixed, believe it or not. His dad is a biracial black man. His mom is white, but he appears to be a white dude. He now plays for the OKC Thunder now. He's got him a nice little, flat back Supreme as well. Then you have this guy. I don't know who he is. He might be like, I don't know who this dude is. He might be a player. I don't know. But he's got him, this looks fitting. They're about the same height. This looks fitting. And this is the dude that pissed off a lot of people right here.
Who is that?
That's Julius Randle, who's now a Timberwolf. Julius Randle. He's got him a nice blonde white woman looking cooperative. Actually, this is his wife. I think they have 2 children together too.
They're married. Okay,
they're married. Yeah, so they didn't like that. Mm-hmm. Then we have I forgot this dude's name, but he won the dunk. Did he win the dunk contest? I forget. He's out of Dayton. I remember that. But he's got him a nice little red head. She's got some curves on her. But this is the thing that really sparked the frustration in black Twitter. But you have this guy here. Now I thought this was Dante, but that's not Dante. It's another player. But he's the only one with a black woman, and she looked good. She looked good. Now, interestingly enough, they all got black on, and she decided to wear white. I don't know what that's about, but we can.
What's that about?
It could be some subconscious thing. I don't know. I find it fascinating that they all got the black memo and she didn't. I don't I don't know what that's about. I don't know what happened there.
Not in the clique, is it?
She might not be. She might not be a part of the girl group just yet. That's definitely could be part of it. But she looks good. She looks happy to be there. But it's interesting when you look at this photo, and we've seen other versions of this. A lot of prom photos that go viral where you have, the black student, the young person dating a white girl. Like that's we see this almost every April and May. Yeah. People just getting mad about this, but this is what's taking place. We are having this interracial mingling going on. Yeah, Opie Toppin. Thanks, Nas. Opie Toppin is
the player at the end. That's the player at the end, right there. His name.
Opie Toppin is the light skinned dude with the redhead woman here.
Oh, okay. All right.
I don't remember who he is. I gotta figure him out, but this is going on, and it's not saying that black women aren't dating these guys, having sex with these guys, sleeping with these guys, because they are. I know some that are, sleeping with Timberwolves and Vikings players till this day. But when they are making their selection, when they're making their outward selection, who they choose to put in the photos, not just who they flying out and flying in, but the ones that they're settling down with, they're typically white women or light-skinned black women. And it's been like this for quite some time. But now that we have social media, we get a little bit more of an insight to a lot of these guys' lives. It's starting to be highlighted more. And it doesn't just stop with the athletes. This is with every common day people as well. And I think that this is fueling the divide amongst black light-skinned women and black dark-skinned women. And there is a just the combative nature amongst themselves until it's time to bang on white women. That's when they come together. So that's what we wanted to preface and start today's conversation off.
Is there any coincidence that she's fairly light-skinned herself?
Yes, I think so. She's not that dark. Like, she's probably about my complexion, which isn't that dark. But yeah, I think that there is a connection here. She's definitely got a nice weave in, and it's looking like it's about the length of some of these women's hair already. So, she's fitting the mode.
You think he marries her?
No, that's a good question. Depends on his stage of his career, but usually the white dudes, they will marry the chicks they with.
You don't think he'll pull a Travis Kelce?
No, I think Travis Kelce was a late bloomer. I think he kind of glowed up after he grew a beard, and then he got good. And I think that he's just kind of basking in his newfound kind of glory and success. And will he leave her for a white woman? It's possible. It's definitely possible, especially if she's not cooperative. And I think we learned a lot from that Travis Kelce dynamic once he broke up with that black woman, because she's been showing her ass ever since. So he probably knew what she was on anyway, and he upgraded to Taylor Swift.
So what you got next? You going? How about the Philadelphia Eagles? Did you see that one? I think I sent you that one.
The Eagles, let's see. Oh, the Eagles Christmas party. Let's see. Yeah, let me pull that one up too.
Christmas time. We're gonna see probably some more of these right here.
Yeah, Andre. I definitely have been watching Coach Greg Adams. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams.
All of the Christmas party time coming up. We're gonna see kind of who's going to the Christmas party and who's not being invited there.
Yep. We're gonna see a lot of it. All right, hold on, John. Let me pull it back up.
And these who you date type events, you're seeing basically a group of black women more or less being left out of an entire kind of strata of society.
Right.
Or so it would seem,
Yeah. And I do think class plays a role in this too. I do think class plays a role. I think if you have a dark-skinned woman who's from a middle or upper middle class, she's gonna have a better chance. But if you put a light-skinned woman right next to her with the same credentials, I think she's gonna get beat out the dark-skinned woman's gonna get beat out every time.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you on that. The lighter, the better in terms of their prospects, for sure. You got another one you want to bring up?
Yeah, so this is the Philadelphia Eagles. So the title reads, "Not a Black Woman in Sight." Photo of Philadelphia Eagles Wags sparks social media. Social media war on interracial relationships in about 70% of a Black league.
Wow.
Now, this is the girlfriend, wife's social, this is the photo they all take together. They're all happy. Now, we do have two women with their heads chopped off in the photo. You can kind of tell one's got a white hand, but we'll give them to the benefit of a doubt. We have a racially ambiguous woman. I'm going to say she's probably a Latina. Another racially ambiguous woman. She definitely does not look Black. She's mixed. That's my type right there. I can tell that one right there. Then you got your ginger, nothing wrong with a redhead, and then you have a sea of white women. Now these are all young girls too. These girls are young. Boy.
Yeah.
So but they are there. They are happy. Now the party was led by Jason Kelsey's wife, Kaylee Kelsey, and kicker Jake Elliott's wife, Ann Elliott, which is another trend that we see when it comes to the professional athletes. A lot of these white guys, they will marry these women. And with a lot of the Black athletes, they don't get married.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of Hispanics, I mean, why not get into the meat of the day, which is probably all over social media? The Hispanic fiance of Travis Hunter. There, I know you've been all on that. Again, I think if it turns out to be true what they're saying about her Universal, I think there's going to be a world of hurt there.
Yeah,
I mean, for the sisters, these type of videos, with the basketball players, they may be able to stomach that a little bit. These players were so far disconnected from the Black community by the time they got with these women.
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter, is poor, not very attractive, and now he's being snatched up by a Latina.
Yep.
You can't even argue with the white women anymore.
Nope.
The Latino woman is snatching up, a stripper no less. So it's not even class, as you say. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And expect more of this to happen as we get more migrants and more Latinas here. We're going to seriously. Give it 10 years. They're gonna start assimilating, and they're gonna start picking off the little bit of Black men that are here as well, especially if they're cooperating. Another clip went viral, John. You just reminded me. I don't know if I'm able to find it, but it was one of those street interviews. People love doing these like on the street interviews.
Yeah.
And it was two Latinos. It was a Latino guy and a woman. And the Latina woman, she didn't speak the best English. I think they were in Miami or Florida, somewhere in Florida. And he was like, "What do you like?" And she was like, "I want the BBC." She was like, "I want." She hit him with the lasagna. She said she like niggas. She was like niggas. Yeah, did you see that clip, John? It just went viral. Oh man, I gotta find it, man. Oh man. Yeah, she like niggas, the BBC. I was like, whoa. So it's happening, right? We've seen lasagna. That generation, they are obsessed with porn. They are obsessed with these archetypes of who people are. And that BBC thing, man, that stuff has a hold on that culture, bro. Like the men are envious of Black men. The women want to see if the myth is true. Like there's a transitioning taking place. And I think as we get more Spanish speaking folks into this country, they're going to be diving into it as well.
Really? I would have thought their culture would have kind of mitigated some of that, in that it was such a distinct culture between the Hispanics and the Blacks that would kind of mitigate it. But, fair enough. Travis Hunter, I guess, crossed the borderlines here.
Yeah.
Should I pull up the Travis Hunter? You know we should play
pull it up.
Let's play this guy. His name is let me see if I can find it. His name is it's on YouTube. I just played it. I may have sent it to you. I may have sent it to you. And I think we can play this guy without getting in any trouble here. Let me see if I can.
I found the clip I was talking about, John. I found it. You want me to share it real quick?
Yeah. Let me see.
Yeah, I'm about to stop using Google. Just go to X, man. You can find everything there.
That is true.
Damn, I found that so quick, man. That's crazy.
Let me find this guy. What's it? Why are you doing that? House of what's the word? House of, oh, that's it. I found it. All right. So there's this guy that's really been going on deep diving into Travis Hunter's girlfriend. We've talked about this.
Oh yeah.
You mentioned her, Patty, Dion having to tell her to get up so that he could congratulate Travis Hunter on winning the award. And so this guy, House of Hypocrites, that's the name of his channel. He has a rather interesting. I'm looking for the short where he does enough exposure to give you a good idea of what's going on. Let me see if I can find it. Where is that video? Is this it? 2 minutes. There was one about 9 minutes. Let me see if I can find it.
The one you sent me?
Yeah. Was that about 9 minutes?
Yeah, it was a little longer.
Was it longer than 9 minutes?
Yeah, I can pull it up for you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, pull it up.
Yeah, it's 9 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah,
I'll show that one, but let me show the one.
Okay.
Oh shit! Did I just click off of it? Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's the guy right there, the House of Hypocrites guy right there.
Yeah, I'll pull that one up in a second. Damn, I think I just clicked off on. Hold on 1 second, John.
Take your time. While you're looking for it, I'm gonna find this video. The House of Hypocrites guy. He has really done a deep dive. What you think? Looking at it right now?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just had it. Where'd it go?
Are you looking?
Here it is. Here it is. So let me know if you can hear the. I'm gonna play it. Let me know if you can hear the sound.
It's blurry right now.
It's blurry.
Damn. Blurred out. Yeah, like.
All right. Can you hear the audio though?
Turn it up. Play it.
Did you hear that?
You got it turned up a little bit.
Oh shit! All right, hold on. Let me reshare it. Share audio. Boom, boom. All right, it might be a little low. If it doesn't work, I'll send it to you. I'll send you a link, and maybe you can play it on your end.
All right, go ahead.
So pretty much, it's a street interview. He's I'll put the link in the back chat. You shared on your end. I think the audio worked better that way, Joe.
Yeah.
The link's in the back chat.
Yeah, I got it up right now. Can you see my screen?
No.
Add it.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, we can't hear nothing yet. Okay.
Is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Really? Why? So today's question is, you live here or you live?
I live in Medellin.
In Medellin.
Okay.
And how is dating in Medellin?
Is fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Really? Why?
It's Medellin. It's party all day, all night. It's good.
It's good?
The people is very good.
The people is very good. But let me ask you, what about in terms of dating? Because I know the nightlife is good, but many people say the nightlife doesn't equal to the, let's say if you want to meet somebody for real, like if you want to have a husband, como un esposo. ¿Es fácil encontrar un esposo? Is it easy to find a husband in Medellin? Or?
No, it's very difficult.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I don't know. Como digo, pues porque, como digo, ay, es que no sé, pues porque no son tan interesantes. Como digo,
they're not very interesting. The people are not very interested in Medellin?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. It's best in, como se dice, extranjeros.
Oh, okay.
What did she say?
It's better to be with foreigners. So there's a piece of that clip missing. I didn't realize it.
It's best in, como se dice, extranjeros.
Oh, okay.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
She likes foreigners.
She likes foreigners. Now, the next thing that she says is she tells you what type of foreigner she likes.
It's the negras.
Yes, the niggas. I'm telling you.
Do you think they'll come here and be less politically correct in their desire? Mostly you don't see typically white women saying things like that. Do you think this foreign woman will will come here and just be more outspoken in her desire.
Yeah, I think they don't know a difference, right? I think, you know, they've been bombarded with hip hop music. They think this shit's just cool. Like that's just like what's in the culture. So they don't have the same racial lens that we do here.
Yeah.
So they'll lean in as much as they need to until they're told different. But you look at that woman, man, what black dude's gonna tell her something different? All right, hey, you call me nigga all you want.
Yeah, only one. He may not even care what she say at all.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Bro, how many passport bros go down to those countries and
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. There's a phenomenon taking place. There's a transition happening, and it doesn't just stop there. We're gonna see a lot more Afro Latinas and all that. This is the impact of putting a Cardi B in front of you and accepting her as a black woman. Like you're gonna see more men engaging with these Latinas.
How do you think this affects the sisters?
Oh, they're just gonna be mad. This is because they're already upset about the white women, and then amongst themselves it's the colorism battle, and then you throw another woman in there, the Latinas, that they are not gonna like that. They are not gonna like that at all.
Let's get into that Travis Hunter.
All right, the link's in the back, so if you want to go ahead and bring it up, I brought it up for you.
All right. Travis Hunter. This is the guy who's doing a react of the Travis Hunter, correct? Oh, this is the wrong one. Here it is. Got it.
Yeah, he's reacting. He's giving a reaction to everything.
It was a good enough clip right here, I think. So. You see it right here?
No, you're not sharing.
Okay.
Try it again.
I'm curious. Can you hear it? Can you hear it, by the way?
No, we can't hear it or see it, John.
Well, right.
His followers, his subscribers.
Here we go. We're good now.
Well, hey, bro, I used to.
You guys.
This YouTuber here exposed the fact that Travis Hunter.
This YouTuber right here is the House of Hypocrites guy right here. And this is the guy doing a react to his video.
Hunter girlfriend worked at a strip club, but in what capacity? Was she a stripper or did she have other roles? Well, let's get to it.
I go in my comments and I see this.
So one of his followers, his subscribers, they go ahead and let him know, hey, bro, I used to, frequent this strip club in Atlanta called Cheetahs. And, Travis Hunter girl was a dancer at this strip club. She was a dancer. She used to dance here. All right. And here's what happened.
Now, some comments that just be BS, you feel me? And you just don't pay no attention to. But this one was just too detailed and like just seemed accurate on why somebody would just randomly say, this girl worked at a gentleman's club in Atlanta. You feel me? So I told bro to DM me. Bro DM me.
So apparently the dude who exposed her, he had all the contacts to all the strippers and dancers at the strip club. Now, I don't know why he had the contact, bro. Was he like doing out calls and in calls? I don't know, right? But he had the contacts to all the women who work at the strip club. And he sent over the contact where she was listed as one of the dancers at the club in his phone.
And then he sent me her phone number. Now, I'm on the phone with my cousin. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm doing the story, yada, yada. Oh, Galt might be, you know what I'm saying? One of them things. One of them, yeah, she was getting down in Atlanta in one of them clubs type shit. He was like, bro, if you want to figure out if the number real, put the number in Cash App. Boom, put the number in Cash App.
So he put it in Cash App. And it's her number, right? So the guy who had her number saved as one of the dancers is on point now. Her number is saved. Yes, it's her. What he does, he made a mistake. He sent her a message from like Text Now or one of these third-party apps. He lets her know, hey, bruh, I have evidence of you being an ex-dancer or stripper at Cheetahs in Atlanta, and I'm reaching out to get a statement. She sees this. And instead of her responding back to give a statement, she changes her name on Cash App immediately.
This is her exact number. I almost
immediately
FaceTime to be like, you feel me? Just to get it like, you feel me? Oh yeah, this just got down on my Instagram. Then I said,
he checked the Cash App again. And she changed the Cash App name to Me, Lollipop Yummy, and erased all trace of of her identity to that Cash App, so people can still wonder if this number is still hers. All right. So they're like, hold up, bro. Why would she need to do this if it's not true? Turns out it is true, right? It is true. So if you go to the guy's page, man, shout out to House of Hypocrites. If you scroll down, turns out this chick is now threatening to sue the YouTuber. Because he called the cheaters and confirmed with them that she used to work.
Years ago, she said she probably worked like around 18, 19 years old. I'm not sure.
Hey, I'm asking the question. Is Travis Hunter's girlfriend trying to cover her tracks? Well, he seen it. And she seen it. And they immediately came with threats of a lawsuit, right? As in, she seen it. And they immediately.
So then she DMs this YouTuber. She DMs him and says, you might want to take that video down before your YouTube is taken down completely. A cease and desist is also in order. So hold up. She's threatening to get the YouTuber's video deleted completely because he exposed that she used to work at Cheetahs as a dancer. Because the person who had it saved, who exposed her, the guy who used to go to Cheetahs all the time, he says she was one of the dancers. But it gets worse.
Came with threats of a lawsuit, right? But as an attorney, the lawsuit she can at the cheetah.
So then she finally responds back to him, and this is what she has to say, okay? So she writes, I was a bartender. This was talked about on my TikTok, but you don't have to respond no more. I am filing a restraining order on you tomorrow. Harassment charges and defamation charges. Been on the phone with the lawyer for the past hour. You will be served in the next 24 hours. So that was your number. I texted for a statement, my old number. So here's what's interesting too, right? So, oh my God. So when he texted her old number, he said, yo, is this you? That was her old number. That Travis Hunter don't have the old number. That's the old number from Atlanta that she used to work at the strip club with because she was giving it out to clients. So when that old number got texted, she still has the old number, by the way, because she's seen the text. She ran to the Cash App and wiped all traces of her identity to that Cash App. So people won't know this is her number. Why would you need to run and try to trace your identity to the Cash App? Why would you try to erase all identity of yours back to that phone number if that phone number wasn't used to do scandalous things? If you was just a bar,
that an attorney can't serve you within 24 hours. So good luck with that.
Is being tied back to that number. If you already talked about it publicly, why would you need to do that? Because she knows, bro. Hey, allegedly, bro, because she's talking about lawsuits, man. Allegedly, one of her clients had the number saved as Eyeliner from Cheetahs. This is suspect, man. This is suspect, bro. Is there more stuff here, man? Oh my God. So she met Travis Hunter apparently at the age of 19, and she worked at Crazy Girls. Crazy Girls is an LA strip club. Sorry, she worked at Cheetahs when she was like 18, 19. This is, oh my God. Man.
Rule for additional information.
You can't be a bartender at the Cheetah in Atlanta. So what was she bartending?
But the rabbit hole gets deeper, right? So here's how the rabbit hole gets deeper. So watch this.
For calling the Cheetah, please press 0 for additional information.
You can't be a bartender at the Cheetah in Atlanta under the age of 21. But you can.
It would be impossible for her to be a bartender. She was under the age of 21 years old. She met Travis when she was 19 and he was 17 in high school. So it would have been impossible. So the bartender thing is a lie, of course. So now what we have here now, bro, is Travis Hunter could potentially be dating an ex-stripper?
You know, the thing. Go ahead, Universal.
I was just gonna say, that shouldn't be surprising, man. That's this lifestyle. The strippers, the Instagram models, like we shouldn't be surprised by that fact. I think we're overhyping the fact that she used to be a stripper.
Yes, but we saw the relationship that Dennis Rodman had with his stripper ex-wife, and it wasn't too good. So there's enough out there to.
Well, your mic is bad. Your mic is bad. It's staticky. But I think it's not that she was a stripper that I think is the big deal, honestly. I think that the fact that she was able to snare this young man when the average sister couldn't have snared this young man. I think that's the bigger deal, even as a stripper. If he knows or don't know, it won't. I don't think it matters to him. You look at this young man, Universal. Tell me what you think.
Travis Hunter, DBA, and receiver at Constant High School, committed to FSU. Travis Hunter, DBA.
That's a longer time, maybe a year or so before he met that woman. She was already working in the strip club,
Think about this, John. The type of woman, and she's not that attractive. She wasn't that attractive then. She looks better now. But for him to like, I keep saying the term glow up because that's a part of this. Look at him. He's very athletically gifted. He's probably just starting to learn that he has an opportunity to make something with his athleticism. He's not the most attractive guy at the time. He definitely got his teeth fixed and everything. But he had that light Latina show up in his life. She's a stripper, so she has somewhat of a body. And to give him that type of attention that he probably hasn't received from a woman like that, man, it's like an angel touching you, man.
And he's not a very attractive young man anyway, so he probably wasn't doing very well with the women, one might say, right?
Not of her caliber at the time, no.
Right, that makes
How's my mic doing so far?
It's still kind of static.
It's about the same one.
So what else you want to go with this university? You had some other topics you want to cover there?
Yeah, I had some other articles. So, to kind of steer back to the black light-skinned women, the dark-skinned women thing, again, this is not a new phenomenon. This is something that's been taking place for quite some time. And there are a lot of women that have talked about it. But there is a dynamic here that I would love black women to dive into further in an honest conversation, and how it shows up for them. And black women have a lot of stereotypes just in general about being single mothers, being aggressive, being the most educated, etc. But when you start breaking that stuff down, you don't always see light-skinned women following into those tropes. And I'm wondering, why is that? Why are the light-skinned women, having a different type of experience than a lot of the dark-skinned women are end up having?
Oh, we got somebody maybe calling in here. University, give me 1 second. We may have a first caller.
Sounds good.
Let me make sure I got the Bluetooth on. Hello? Oh, this is Warren. Give me 1 second, Warren. Let me cut the Bluetooth on. All right. If you're on the Bluetooth and we get another caller, we have to drop you. So those are the breaks. Those are the breaks of being on the phone.
Minutes anyway, because I got to get ready for the workday.
All right.
I was just going to say, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Travis Hunter's wife?
Did we lose him? Are you there, Warren?
I'm still here.
Okay, we didn't hear your
question. I'm still here.
Yeah, what was your question?
Say that again.
No, I was saying that I was of the impression that Travis Hunter's girlfriend was a mix between black and Filipina.
I'm not sure. Let me ask you this question, Warren. Since we have a poll question, do you have a preference for light versus dark women? As it relates to black women. I don't know if you like black women at all, but you just, when you see one in the news or something, do you find you generally
like light? Well,
Well, yeah, light skin down to, I would say, caramel color almost. Anything darker than that is a turn off.
Really? You say it's a turn off?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yeah, it's a turn off.
Okay, why?
Very honest. We get the people on the phone, they speak very honest.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for being honest, though.
Let me. Have you seen that dynamic play out in society? Have you seen any? Just to give me your general observation of how that plays out in society from your vantage point.
Are you talking about light skin versus black skin?
Yeah. Well, if you think that light skinned women are more, do you think that that's generally accepted among most men?
Yeah, and I don't know what causes it. I mean, my first girlfriend was black, so I mean, before I started dating Mexicans and Puerto Ricans, and, the rest is history. But the thing is from what I understand, I mean, it was even in a song. It's an old jazz song that basically said the same thing. If you're white, you're all white. If you're brown, stick around. If you're black, stay back. But the other thing, John, is
was your girlfriend dark skinned black or light skinned black?
No, she was again, more like a caramel color. She was about the same skin tone as my ex-wife, who was a Mexican national. They were both caramel color.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
In that regard. What I was also going to go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you about to say something? Go ahead.
I was also going to say what's also to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago regarding, I guess, the video you played with the Colombian chick that was from Medellin.
Oh, yeah.
The other thing that's happening is there are a lot of black men that are getting their passports and they're going to Colombia. And when they're wiping up some of these women, they're not coming back to the United States, which is pissing off more black women.
I know that. I never thought about it. I never thought about it not coming back. We're losing them physically, I guess. That'll be interesting.
Well, they're staying over there because they know that they have things like the Angry Man channel. They have, Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, back in the day, that, warn these people. What will happen is if you bring your foreign wife to the United States, she'll get acclimated to the Western lifestyle, and that increases the chances of them doing the level up and divorcing you. And so the end result is they're wiping up these people, but they're not coming back home. And it's not just Colombia; it's the Philippines. There's an area where there are a lot of black people that are not coming home, and also in Europe. Matter of fact, you had somebody on the panel that was like that.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Well, hey, we gotta keep the phone lines open. Feel free to jump on the panel if you want. You have some more to say.
Yes, sir. All right, you guys stay blessed.
Thank you. Yeah, go ahead, Universal. Oh, Universal, comment here on the screen. He's saying no way Dion wouldn't know about this. I'm sure someone from Atlanta would have told him.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he might know about it. I don't even think Dion even approves of it, given Dion's own track record with divorce and the women he's been dealing with over the last few years. He's probably not a fan of it, but what can he do? This man, Travis Hunter, this young man, he's in love, man. He moved the chick all the way out to Colorado. She was with him at Jackson State. She's riding that wave, and he's rolling with her. We see in the recent clips, he's putting up with her yelling at him for taking photos, and she's ready to go. And he's like, well, we'll be done soon. Like, he's just a young dude who has got trapped, we're going to be honest, and he's going to have to learn the hard way. I think most men, we run into this issue at some point in time in our lives where we end up falling for a woman, and we probably know it's not the best thing for us, but we just keep pushing until we can't push no more.
When I mentioned this topic, I think to Portia, one of the things she said was, this is an international, that first video I sent you. I don't know if you remember that video I sent you. It was an international video. I think it may have been in the UK or something like that. Do you remember the video I'm talking about?
No. Tell me more.
I'm going to pull it up for you. I want to get your thoughts on this.
First video. From YouTube?
I think it's from Twitter.
No, that's not the YouTube.
Here it is. This is not the same title, but it's the same video. And again, we talked about this. So I want to get your opinion on this. Let me know if you can see my screen. There will be a second. Can you see my screen, University?
No, reshare it.
Purpose, you got a little female version of yourself.
And this is not in the US. This is in the UK.
It's the best part of being a girl dad.
Give us your
Seeing her
feedback.
grow, man. Eventually just learning new things.
You can't even explain it, man. Like the level of responsibility that you feel.
Feel like it gives you purpose. You got a little female version of yourself.
I mean, look, producing such a production.
Seeing your own mother in your child.
I'm a general sensitive person anyway. See, when you have a daughter, bro, it brings out a different side of you.
A daddy-daughter relationship, when it's nurtured properly, it's a special thing, man.
Even when their personality comes through and they start talking to you, telling you things they think. Yeah, man, this is the best thing that's ever happened to me.
The hardest wait. Oh, knowing that she's gonna grow up.
Your thoughts can run away with you, as in, you think about them growing older and all the crosses them that's around.
Hey, listen, yeah.
So the hardest part, I would say, is the sassiness.
Watching her cry, especially when it's because you've told her off.
Having to limit your love so you don't spoil them. Obviously, you want to do everything, but you can do too much.
There's no hard part, really and truly. It's all a blessing. It's humbling. What else was the hard part?
That's the hard part.
Wow.
I just worry about just how this world is and how evil it can be. Do you get me? And it's just about protecting them and guarding them and growing them in the best possible way with the best morals to become one of them good people in the world. Bye, Link Up TV.
Bye, Link Up TV.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts, Universal?
Notice the pattern there. Damn near every kid was light skinned. Except for one towards the end, the older one with the braids. She was the only somewhat dark skinned kid. Very interesting. Now
it's in the UK, right? That's
that's the UK, but I think the pattern still plays out even in the UK. Hell, it might play out even further with a lot of them guys have Jamaican or Caribbean influence, and we know about the skin bleaching that's been taking place for years in those countries. But yeah,
do you think that there? We're going to get into this maybe in a later series, but here's one of the things as a landlord I've been thinking about it. I've been seeing over the years. Like, do you think the level of discipline, right? The child abuse is disproportionate based upon the skin color of the child, the love for the daughter, even, right?
Yeah, I definitely think, as I was going to say, I think that there's a couple of variables that play a role. I do think that skin complexion can play a role in how people are disciplining their children, where their light-skinned children may have more of a preference to not be harmed as much. Or if they're a girl, they get a different level of punishment than the boys do as well. And I've seen that play out. And I've honestly seen that play out both directions. Like if you have where a majority of the folks in the family are darker skinned, and then there's a lighter skinned child, that child is end up, picked on or treated differently, or vice versa. If more people are light skinned, you have a darker skinned person, that person's kind of targeted. It's a part of the culture that we end up having where we start to kind of out one that may have a complexion that's not amongst the collective. We see it all the time. In fact, being a girl dad myself, I have 3 daughters. 2 of my 3 daughters are lighter than everybody else in the family, and then my oldest is dark skinned. I could actually show you probably a photo if you want to see. But me and my ex-wife, we were very conscious of the difference in treatment once we realized our first 2 daughters had 2 completely different skin tones. 2 completely different. So we were very conscious about making sure that she doesn't develop this kind of light skin privilege thing. And I'll be honest with you, John, she developed that shit on her own, where she would say, well, I'm prettier than you are. And she'll just start saying stuff. Yeah. She'll start saying stuff to her older sister because she was light skinned. And she'll say things like, I look more like daddy's side of the family because they're all lighter. And she'll say things like that to her sister. Now, it hasn't been an issue in the last maybe 2 years or so, but she was saying that stuff a while ago.
Universal, a friend of mine was telling me that her child has kind of relatively curly hair, loose curled hair, whatever.
Yep.
And an African woman was asking her, "Is that his first set of hair? Is that more or less? Is this hair going to be like that forever?
Forever? Yeah.
Nice, right?" And she found it rather odd that and I think hair kind of goes along with this conversation in a way, because I think the hair and the skin color kind of intertwined there. But
Absolutely.
it's very. Go ahead. So what are you about to talk about next?
I think when it comes again with the child rearing piece, and just the development of young children, skin complexion plays a huge role in the Black community, and I think that does associate with how women start to identify themselves as they get older. Based on the environment that they're in, if they are one of few light skinned or one of few dark skinned, depends on how they've been picked on and how they've been treated, and I think that furthers how they show up later on in adulthood, and then that furthers when they when they get their education, if they get it, when they get into the workforce, etc. And I think ultimately it does play a role in their dating preferences as well. So again, Black women, they have a big issue here, and it ends up playing out in so many different ways. And ultimately, this is kind of the big thing. We'll dive into this on probably a later episode in this series. Is I think ultimately the goal is to have a lifestyle similar to white women, but being Black women, they can achieve, quote unquote, achieve that. And I think that's fueling a lot of this Black male, Black female divide that we have within the community. And you hear this when you start and you see the difference in how certain notable people are celebrated or even appreciated when it comes to their interracial relationships. When you see Black men who are notable, who have some sort of status with a non-Black woman, they're usually attacked. But if you see a Black woman who's notable, has some sort of status, and she's with the non-Black man, she's usually celebrated. We've seen this with Serena Williams. We've seen this with a lot of different people. And not only is it that, but also we see this with people who aren't on that super, super duper star status like Serena Williams, like what you brought up, the mayor, I think his name is Brandon Scott out of Baltimore, and his non-Black wife. Now, she's not white. She's like Filipina or something, but they hid her for quite some time before it was outed who she was. But even recently, he went on a whole crusade and tied his cape on super tight, saying that he stands with Black women and Black women were the reason that this country is the way that it is. He went on this whole, post Kamala not becoming the president rant, and he's not even with a Black woman. So we see this phenomenon play out over and over and over again.
But why would he go on this rant? And here is the rant that you're speaking of. Why would he go on this rant knowing that he's not married to a Black woman? And, why won't the sister just call him and say, yo, what the hell are you talking about? And here's the rant here.
Yeah, go ahead, play it.
Yeah, I play a little bit of it. Yeah.
But it is clear that there will be a second Trump presidency. It is really on my heart this morning to say that as a man, but more importantly, as a Black man, that this country does not deserve Black women or Black people, but specifically Black women. This morning, I woke up and I just gave my wife a hug because I know how heavy this is weighing on Black women. And they have carried this country and saved this country too many times.
Universe, I don't think we need to play any more of it, because what we really need to show is that wife he got up and hugged. Right?
Yeah.
Man, how the hell do they, this must be devastating to the Black.
Yeah. Black women, I think Black women accept this if they know. And they go, well, at least she ain't white. At least she ain't white. But look how they respond to what's the guys down in South Carolina, Scott, the Republican, when he got engaged to that white woman a couple summers ago, he got torched.
That's a very good example.
He got torched.
That is a very good example. Yeah, that is a very good example. You mentioned something that the Black women will likely turn against the white women or form a coalition. Yeah. Is that what you say?
Yeah, it's kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type of thing, right? So I have seen this in professional places and spaces, and just in general online, that you'll see this light-skinned Black woman, dark-skinned Black woman fight take place. But when a white woman's introduced to the mix, the Black women will come together to go against the white woman all the time. They'll stop their battle and they will, join forces to defend the white woman. And I think that highlights the ultimate goal. And the ultimate goal is that they want to have the same social status as a white woman, ultimately, whether consciously or subconsciously. I think that's what fuels a lot of the things that they do. That's why we see rhetoric like they want to look just like us, and that's why they hated Kim Kardashian outwardly, but supported her secretly, is because she appeared as a white woman with curves, and she was taking the aesthetic of what black women have. They want our lips, they want our curves, they want all these types of things. They want our men. They will say these things on one end, but then support these women on the other by watching the shows, buying the products, etc. And I think again that fuels this kind of secret battle that they had. I think it's a subconscious battle that they have amongst quote unquote white women and themselves due to their own racial programming. And again, you ask the question, why would Brandon Scott, why would he say that, given the fact that he knows he's married to a non-black woman? Why does he have to come out and say that when Kamala loses the presidential election? Because that's his base. Those are the women that support him and what he does, whether they know him or not. And I guarantee you, his wife plays a very quiet role in the political dynamics within Maryland. Go ahead.
I say, you think so?
Hell yeah, I think so. Like, because he can't have her out front and center talking the stuff he's talking, because then they're gonna start asking questions.
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like she might show up to the Christmas party. She might do the gala, when there's a few black people there. But when he goes to the school and there's a shooting, and he's got to go make an appearance, she ain't gonna be there.
Right.
Now with the common day black folks, John, no, he can't trot her out like that.
That's very interesting because I told you I listened to Baltimore radio all during the Freddie Gray trial for years, and they hid their whole relationship. And even after he's married, there weren't many pictures. It was as if the media was even complicit with it in hiding her. It's very interesting.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say they need him, right? The media needs him to have an image. They need him. It's all interconnected. So until he does something wrong, that's when the expose comes out. But until then, they have to make sure that they support and prop him up because he fits the mold. And I hate to dive into the DEI thing, but it is that he's a young black charismatic guy. He's their version of Barack Obama. So they can't ruin him by finding these things. But if he does something wrong, let's say he has an affair or he does some things with some dollars that he's supposed to be doing, please believe they're going to start attacking all angles.
Some blacker than black politicians would come in.
Of course.
Sharp, James, Cory Booker. A couple things I want to get your commentary on. We're going to breeze through these. This is the first one.
Yep. I know who that is.
Who is that? Who is it?
That is Cash Doll. She's from Detroit.
Okay.
She's a rapper. Former stripper yet again.
Okay, I did not know that. So your thoughts on that?
On what, the outfit or what?
Just your thoughts in general. When you saw that, what you thought? What did you think?
When I see this is your current black urban woman aesthetic when they go out. She looks amazing. She's got a lot of body work done. But we have got to a place of decency that's removed from our society. When I was hitting the clubs hard, 10, 15 years ago, women didn't dress like that. They dressed like they were actually getting ready to go to work compared to today. Like they were more like slightly business casual. They were shopping at BB and stuff. Now they're wearing Savage. They're wearing Fenty. They're wearing Pretty Little Things to the club, and everything's sheer and revealing. A lot of glitz and glam, but we've taken a step back in decency, and we can see it all.
Let me ask you this. So take out the stripper aspect, take out the rapper. She's a rapper, right? Take out the rapper aspect. There are regular women that go to the club like this, correct?
Yes. And they have good jobs. You know, they're working at some corporation. They're working at the nonprofit. They're teachers. Yes, sir.
Now, who is their competition?
Each other.
Are they competing like the more upstanding woman?
No, they are in their circle because they're competing for a similar type of guy, which is like the athlete, the entertainer, the club promoter, the dudes who are making that quick money. That's who they're competing for him, and there's not a lot of hims.
Are they at least diverting the attention of the decent men?
Hell yeah, we watch them. We'll follow them on Instagram, but we don't have a shot because we're not fitting what the desire is.
There could be a basic one like this in the club, though. She's a, got a DEI job. She ain't no ball player, but club.
She might.
But she got those ideals, those demands, right?
Right. Yeah. So in her mind, a guy like me, unless I can catch her, she's gonna surpass me for that type of. If she can get to that type of guy, now at some point they're gonna get tired and they're gonna run out of they're gonna run out of gas, and then they're gonna look for a dude like myself. But by then, I'm probably done moved on to something younger. I'd have probably moved on to the whole nother option. Latinas, they coming. Like we done moved on.
And you've matured as well, I imagine, right? This is very interesting. Hey, Sam, I am an interesting show topic. Sam, I think universally you would probably be better for this because you guys are hot in the dating market here. If you want to jump up and comment, feel free.
Feel free to how about Sam? I'll answer this comment too.
You mentioned when we thought of this topic. Go ahead, Universal.
Yeah, so Kelvin, so I would say typically a guy who's in my position would hop to a white woman because it's just easier. It's easier to get them. They're easier to cooperate with, but it depends on the guy's preference, right? It depends on the preference. Like when people see me, they automatically assume that I deal with white women primarily, and I don't. I have dealt with white women in the past, but being a professional man and being a black man and then also living in Minnesota, it's actually a surprise to most people that when I was married to a black woman.
You mentioned the conflict, Universal. Do you think that, you can go a lot of ways with this. I just want to hear what you have to say about it.
Ain't gonna be available. For all of the white women, the Beckleys and the Bentleys and Emilys who voted for Trump, this is what I gotta say to you. Whenever your little Emily comes home full of Tyreekuses, come shop. She's a teen. Sadly, you told her not to mess with that dark meat, but she did. I'm going to enjoy the non-abortion that she's going to get. She's going to be forced to have that baby and disgrace the whole family. Go ahead, Tyrone. Put it in a deep dicker so you can get this swirl in. Now you got some niggas in the family now.
I'm gonna pause for 1 second, Universe. It almost sounds jealous, right? Are you catching this?
It's
all this deep dick.
Mm-hmm.
Becky gonna get the deep dick. Becky with the deep dick.
Yeah. But hold on before you play the clip, John, because there's a lot in what you just said. Mm-hmm. There is a hint of jealousy, but it's low key also putting black men in we are only good for what we have between our legs. Mm-hmm. We're not good for anything else but sex. And this is what has driven a lot of this black feminism of today is we have been reduced to physicality, what we can do sexually and what we can do as far as protection when they want us to protect them. That is it. They don't care about nothing else when it comes to black men. And this narrative carries on over and over and over again. We have been reduced to just being sexual. It's almost like if you think about how American slavery was, it was all about physicality. What the black man can do as far as producing goods and what the black man could produce once the slave trade was ended. And black women have that same type of mentality when it comes to black men.
Let me ask you this question. Do you think she's more or less out of the dating market and now she's more or less just seeing black men as sexual weapons?
Yeah, look at her, man.
We'll fuck these white women life up.
Yeah, go fuck. Yeah, that's what. Yes, absolutely. Like if you just look at it now, there's some dudes who are going to be interested in this. Honestly, based on her appearance, she probably looks better off with a white guy than than a black dude. To be honest,
You think a white guy would take that level of hatred in a woman for white people? Like she hates white women.
She'll love that white king though. He's different, you know. He does the work, quote unquote. He does the work, John.
Guys, we have 22 people in the audience, and one of the things we really want to know is, and if you didn't answer the poll question, we would like you know, let us know. Do you find yourself generally attracted to lighter or white women in general? This is a question from men and women. You know, just visually. We're not asking you for your preference. We're just asking you visually. Do you find them a lighter woman to be more attracted than a darker skinned woman? Anyway.
You don't like us now. We at Thanksgiving dinner now. The whole in-laws, everybody coming over there. What's up? Your grandchild gonna be a nigga. Oh, Rebecca. You know when you be saying you're going to Pilates class, but we'll be going to the hood to see Rodney. You know what I'm saying? So we can pop you down and you go back home all tired and ran through to.
Man, you know, I hated to stop it, but you got it. Yeah, I know you got something to say.
Again, what black men produce is a punishment, right? Either we're gonna physically hurt you, we're gonna mentally hurt you because we're gonna let you down or betray you, or we're going to punish you with a child that you did not want because it's our fault. And again, this is why a lot of black men are jumping ship, man. It's this type of mentality, and I feel like I'm a broken record a lot when we talk about this. But this is the mentality of a lot of black women, not all, but a lot of black women 40 and under have this mentality, and it's not doing nothing for us. It's really crushing us.
You know, I keep repeating it's like she's looking at the black man as like a biological weapon.
Exactly. Yes.
You'll see them a white woman and fuck their whole family up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That card gonna break one day, baby. Or that raw dog gonna really pay off. And that plan B ain't gonna be available. And that abortion ain't gonna be available. And Peter gonna know that you got some BBC all up in that.
You sound like lasagna killer.
Yeah, shout out to lasagna. Brickzilla.
I mean, like, man, this is very sad in a way. Man, oh man, I'll let you go, Universal. Go ahead.
Now it is sad again, man. We have been reduced to just the BBC. That's all we're good for is land, pipe, and protection. They don't care about nothing else that we have to offer to them. And I think I'm gonna throw something in there, John. We can deep dive into this later. But I think with this whole surrogacy thing and having babies without actually conceiving them through sex, I think you're going to see a lot more black women going that route, especially as it gets cheaper. They're going to go that route and they're going to just completely just stop dealing with black men altogether because they can just go have, you know, the designer baby that they want. And I guarantee you, John, a lot of those babies are going to be light-skinned babies. I can almost guarantee.
Damn, that but they still going to have some desire to have sex, no? It's going to be, you know.
I mean, they got the rolls, John. They got the rolls. They have all types of toys. Do they need to?
Well, if you listen to what this woman is saying, like, why let Becky have all the fun? So it effectively what you're saying is they see ground and just give up on their carnal, natural desires and go to mechanics. Let man solve their natural baby making issue if they can afford it. And toys, damn,
I think
it would make you very angry. I can understand.
You understand the anger, huh?
It make you very, very angry if that is what your life is going to come down to. That's very interesting. I'll play some more of this video. Did you have something else you wanted to share, Universal?
Go ahead, you can play it.
All right.
Ran through, run over cunt. Oh, but you ain't gonna be able to get no abortion, are you? You end up like you've been doing before. Because we all know why y'all wanted to shut down abortions. Y'all was getting all abortions. But that ain't gonna be over with now. You done kept Rodney a secret for a real long time. But not no more. Welcome that black baby. And we know y'all been about to drop me. Welcome that black baby to the family. That baby is called right. Or when you're bleeding out on a table somewhere and doctors can't do nothing. Our thoughts and prayers will not be with you. Well, our thoughts will be, and our thoughts will be. How's it feel, bitch? See,
Man, what man would take a woman who feels that level of anger toward her, the women in her fraternity? The women should be kind of like a little fraternity, the sisters, childbirth,
the sisterhood.
Hey, God almighty, that is amazing, bro. That is amazing.
John, have you heard of Ari Nagel out of New York?
No.
So he got into some trouble. His nickname was the Sperminator. You didn't hear about this story? You didn't hear about this story?
Maybe I did.
Well, he was he came into fame a few years ago as he was outed as fathering, I think it was like 170, 160 children through artificial insemination. And he was donating his sperm, and he's a decent looking white man. He was donating his sperm to all these women, but you'll notice an interesting pattern of the women that he was donating his sperm to conceive these children. You probably did cover this hood, and I probably was around that time when you did.
Was he a Jewish guy? And most of them like minorities? I think I remember. Yes. I don't remember his name.
Yes.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of like what you were saying, though.
But that's what I'm saying. You're going to see a lot more of this, not on this scale, but on a smaller scale. You're going to see this. Like, I think I told you one of the dates that I went on this summer, I was talking to this woman, and she was like, what do you think about if I had a surrogate child? And I was like, oh, shit. Like, I've never talked about that with a black woman ever. She was like, well, I'm seriously considering it. I'm turning 36 this year. And I don't know, I don't know if I'm able to find somebody to settle down with. You already have kids. She said, you already got kids. So I don't know if you want more and all this shit. Then she was like, I think I'm going to go through with that. Do you think that's weird? And I was like, no, you want to go freeze your eggs? Go ahead. And I asked her, would you carry the baby or would you have somebody else carry it? And she said she would want to carry it. But black women are considering this option today, is what I'm ultimately saying.
I heard a video earlier today. It was a woman. Damn, it was a woman. No, it was on Kevin Samuels yesterday. And it was like a 27-year-old woman from Philadelphia. And Kevin Samuels was giving it a straight. I think she was 27. She may have been older than that. And she did say she's already frozen her eggs. So they are taking advantage of this technology. I've known a few that have done that as well. Damn, that's very interesting if it turns out that way. Damn.
Again, this is a millennial and down thing. Now, think about your lady friend, right? I'm assuming she's 40 or plus.
Right.
She's not going to take this option because it's so foreign. It's like a sci-fi thing for her.
Right.
But for the folks, the younger people who are 35 and down, this is not outside of the norm. They're not afraid to go out of the country and get cosmetic surgery done. They're not going to be afraid of freezing their eggs either. This is an option.
Yeah, well, they were doing that during my day. So,
and the tech is better now.
Yeah, the tech is probably a little bit cheaper too. Probably insurance covers it.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah.
So you think a lot more black women would be having babies this way?
Hell yeah.
It's ending up child.
Yeah, they don't want the baby daddy thing. Brings too much shame, especially the professional women. It brings too much shame. You're better off saying that you did a designer baby.
You think that'll be mainstream? A designer baby?
I think it can't. I think if the right celebrities did it, it'll be more accepted mainstream wise. Yes. I mean, hell, Beyonce, she's had surrogates carry her children. A couple of Kardashians have. We have enough examples of people who have done some version of this that it's going to be. I think it's going to be more acceptable pretty soon.
Damn, that's very interesting. That is very interesting. One more thing about the whole motherhood, child support thing. how do you think that all plays out? You know, these on Pop the Balloon, we see a lot of these mixed, blended families and all that kind of stuff. I guess if they go to the pharmaceuticals to have their babies, the lack of a baby daddy will be good for their dating in some sense, right?
Right. They don't have the quote unquote baggage. And honestly, I think it could also become a clout thing too. Like, yeah, I went out and I was able to afford this for myself, and I think it can
no
start
baby
to make
daddy.
different ways. Yeah, I ain't got no baby daddy. I did this. It furthers the independent woman narrative as well.
Oh shit, guys, what do you think about that? That's an interesting concept. Are designer black babies on the way? Right, we got a race of designer babies.
Hell yeah,
designer babies.
They're gonna develop their own Travis Hunters. They don't need us. Just like the mama said, don't let your mistake can be a blessing. Don't give up.
That is amazing. That is.
Yeah, you didn't think about that, did you?
You got me on that one. And I was gonna go to Motherhood and does that because I think we'll cover that another time. As a landlord, I've seen different people in the houses. I would almost say the majority of the people that I see in Section 8 are dark skinned. And that's what kind of led me to this topic, to be honest with you, is that I think the light-skinned women, they do well clearly in the professional sector better than the darker-skinned women. But somehow they're staying out of the homes of John Galt. Even most of my tenants who rent rooms now are dark-skinned. The women.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like, you ain't gonna find no light-skinned ass, fine-ass girl up in no room that John Galt rent her. Don't happen. Either her daddy, some nigga, gonna get her up out of there, gonna pitch in a few more dollars so she could go and live in a nice neighborhood, have an apartment as opposed to a room for rent. It's scared somebody might rape her, attack her. But with them, like I wish I could have taken a picture of that dark-skinned woman that stopped up my tub the other day, right? And she's over in the ghetto. Her boyfriend leaves her there by herself with other men in the house. And shit just doesn't happen if they're pretty, And I think it all up and down the scale of these things. I think there's just a difference in how their lives are lived.
Yeah. And it's due to how we've been racialized. Like we do have a racial lens in this country. I think it also plays out in other places where black people are as well. But we have to be honest about it. There is a preference towards lighter skin and beauty. Just like there's a pretty privilege, there's a lighter skin privilege. Yeah. And it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. We can't, negate it. Hell, Juan just got up here and said he's not even attracted to that. He's like, me no black, Poppy. He's like, nah.
Blind, man. He can't legally blind. He got a Ray Charles detector. He got a Ray Charles detector.
Damn.
Dog skin.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that part of it. But yes, that's crazy.
Kelvin said they're gonna put a Gucci sticker on the baby that everyone could.
Hey man, might name the baby Gucci, man. You never listen. In these times, man, just expect the things that you didn't think were possible to be possible. Because again, with a lot of black people, we have a lot of irrational thoughts. So don't be surprised by this shit, man. In this secular world where there's not a governance through religion, you're gonna see a lot of different cultural things pop up. And like this lady's talking, this ain't just her. There are thousands of black women who think like this. And they got degrees and they're making decisions on the school boards and the city councils. I deal with these women damn near every day of my life, man. Like this is a thing. It's here.
The Crown Acts and all that kind of shit.
Like what the hell is a Crown Act? Like that does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. But it gives her the empowerment to wear her hair like this. Like what is this?
Do you think that hair is more or less a rebellion? Sam, feel free to chime in. We only have about 24 minutes, 23 minutes here, so feel free to chime in, Sam.
You know what? Universal holding it down. I don't even know if I should be on here.
You're more than qualified, Sam. Go ahead.
Doing a fantastic job. So
Well, let me ask you, Sam, since you're a man in the dating scene, right?
yeah. I'm not married or nothing like that. I kind of got a chick right now, but you know, you could always move on.
Is your chick light skinned?
Yeah, she's a Puerto Rican.
Okay, so she's.
I told you, John. I told you. I didn't even know that. I told you they coming.
Dude,
but you know what?
He did say that.
But you know what? I will say this. I am extremely attracted to fit and feminine dark-skinned women. I actually do like dark-skinned women, but they're when they're good looking and stuff like that, they're hard to come by, and they tend to be a little bit more plugged into the Black culture, and I find myself kind of not as much, and so I think we're just sort of uncompatible in those ways. You know, it's like once you do find that needle in the haystack, you find out that you're incompatible with them for the most part in a lot of parts. Although I've had a lot of dark skinned women like me because I'm lighter skinned. But
you're light skinned. Do you think they like you? They like you because of, they think they're getting some genetics that will give them lighter skinned baby or something like that?
I didn't always think that, but I definitely think that as I've gotten older. So I believe that's true. Yeah.
Really? Universal, I have thoughts on that. Well, what are your thoughts? Why do you think these dark-skinned women would be now reverting back to, seemingly attracted to the dark-skinned men?
Options. I think that they are just trying to cling back to darker skinned men. Well,
he's light skinned. He's saying he feels like he's getting more options now as a light skinned man.
Yeah, I think we have these waves in society that, and this is this could be other cultures, but I focus mainly on Black folks. Whatever the current trend is leads into what the preferences are. Like in the 90s, you had Michael Jordan and Wesley Snipes and these dark-skinned dudes, and they had a huge preference during that time. I remember hearing my aunts swooning over these niggas. I remember. Right. And then in the early 2000s or the mid 2000s, 2009, 2010, you get the Drakes of the world, right? And he has.
Hold on. We got to talk in here, Universe. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Hi, you on with John Galt? Hello, you on with John Galt?
Hey.
Yeah, you on with John Galt? Are you calling in about the Black women's subject?
I am.
Okay, all right. We got a woman calling in. All right, tell us. Are you dark skinned or light skinned?
Yeah, I do. I am brown skin.
Okay.
I'm brown skin.
What can we call her? What's the name that we can call
her? Brown skin color.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm brown.
Do you think there is a color privilege, like in the dating environment amongst Black women?
I think there is, but it's probably also sometimes with men as well. I think some of that is changing. I mean, I've never felt as a brown skin woman, I've never had an issue with my color or felt like it impacted my dating experience. And I think there are some guys who might have chosen me because I'm not light skinned or because I don't have naturally straight or curly hair. But it's never really bothered me. Everyone has their preference. So I know there's some, but there's some women who are darker skinned than me that have darker skin that have been impacted by that. And I think definitely growing up, I recognized that at a certain point that, the light-skinned girls were probably going to get picked before me. But I don't think it really bothered me. Maybe because I still got picked.
Do you think if you didn't get picked, it would bother you?
Yeah.
And how do you...
But that's just, like if I was overweight, because overweight people don't probably don't get picked as quickly as someone who's thinner or someone who's hippier, you know, maybe like they're not skinny, but they have hips or they have breasts. Because that's also me as well. Like I'm not a hippie. I don't have big breasts. And there's some guys who prefer women like that. And so there's guys who aren't going to pick me because I'm not that girl. But then there's guys who will. And so I guess same thing, like growing up when I was younger, there were guys who would overlook me and look at my friends who had bigger hips. And, you know, I was okay with that because, you know, there was someone who did pick me.
Have you ever noticed all these athletes and famous people marrying or dating white women?
Yeah, I've noticed it. It doesn't really bother me though. I just have not been that girl who like gets upset that black men are dating white women.
Anyone have any
But
questions on the panel?
I have friends. I have a friend who actually, she told me whenever she would see a mixed race couple, she would just, like a guy dating with a white girl, she would just stare at them because it really bothered her.
Did she
was dark.
Did she ever say why it bothered her?
Well, she was dark skinned.
Yeah, so she just said she didn't like to see black men dating white women.
How dark was she?
A little bit compared, I guess.
Give us a benchmark. Like, was she Idris Elba dark?
No, a little lighter than Idris.
Because she was dark skinned. Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Did she ever complain about? Did she ever complain about if you flip the genders? Did she ever complain about black women with white men?
No, because it's probably not her concern. You know, she's looking at it more probably, and she probably comes from the standpoint she didn't date a whole lot, and so that maybe if she was dating more, it wouldn't have bothered her as much. So she wouldn't have seen. You know, you hear women complain about, you know, good men being taken by the white woman. So if she had someone, my guess is it wouldn't have bothered her.
Do you think that's
or
true?
Probably at all.
Do you think that's true that the good men in the black community are being taken by the white women?
No, I think there's
let me put that picture of the NFL players.
I don't think that's true.
You don't think that's true?
I mean, there are. Everyone has their preference. And, you know, the other thing I think about is the fact that even as black women, a lot of us, is changing. Society is definitely changing. The culture is changing, but a lot of us have gone through a period where we were also trying to look white. Like, you know, like we're altering our hair to wear in a way that's not naturally ours. Not wanting our edges to curl up, you know, always trying to keep those smooth, just like a white woman's edges. And so I think, you know, just like it has impacted us, like looking at white people as like a standard of beauty, I think it has also impacted men as well. And so, you know, that whole notion of like good hair and a woman sometimes wanting to marry a man that's light skin or has curly hair, so her child can come out with curly hair or light skin.
Do you think a lot of black women are going to start just getting surrogate, you know, just fertility treatment and forsake having the babies all together by men, you know, avoid the whole baby daddy issue and just have them a surrogate?
Because of color, or you're just saying in general? Is this a different topic?
You know, the whole issue. All these black women, you know, that ate Howard. What do we say? Howard has 89% of their income student population is black women.
Black women, yes.
Black women, right? 11% men. Some of those men are going to be gay. Those women are not going to find a partner. That's a game of musical chairs where it just ain't enough chairs, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we're not necessarily talking about color. We're talking about like you don't have a man.
Well, the lighter skinned girls clearly are going to have their first choice at Howard and outside of Howard. But the darker skinned fat women, I mean, like, you know, I don't know what becomes of them.
Pookie and Ray Ray.
So I think some women will. I think we definitely see that, because you still, even if you don't have a part, even myself, I had said when I was younger, if I wasn't married by 30, I was going to adopt, because I still, like, yeah, it would have been great to be married, but if I'm not married, I still want to have a child.
Let me ask you a question, since people kind of figure out who you are. Have you noticed that there are no dark-skinned Black women tenants staying in our rooms? You ever noticed that? That shit. No light skin. Them broke ass nigga women that be in our rooms, they be black as hell, dark skin niggas, ugly motherfuckers, fat. You ever noticed that?
Huh?
You ever noticed that?
You said, who's that?
Have you ever noticed that all the niggas that be over here in the ghetto? Hold on, all the niggas that be over here in the ghetto.
No, wait.
You don't be no pretty ones now. Don't be no pretty woman over here.
There's one right now who's light skinned.
There's one. And she got a private bath.
Well,
right? She ain't sharing no bathroom with no niggas. Hey, what she got? What she got? Tell her where she's staying. She got a what? A private bath, right? She ain't shitting, pissing with no niggas, right?
But I also say I'm not going to agree with you, because honestly, I don't pay attention to what everyone looks like.
Yeah, I do. I do.
So only you can really vouch for that, and I don't know if I actually trust you. Give an unbiased, because I know.
but I do go in and out and see these people, correct? Right?
Yes.
Let me show you one of the ones that was over here in the ghetto, right? I don't know if you're watching the stream, and I don't know if you remember this one. You remember this one? She was over here in the ghetto. You remember this one? If you're watching the stream, you might. This is what be over here in the ghetto right here. We don't have any pretty light-skinned women.
Okay, but see, well, you just said light skin, right? And so I would consider.
But you said fat. Is she fat? Hey, what color you think that woman is? Like, if you had to guess what complexion that woman is.
I would give her brown.
I'm talking about the woman that had the baby with the nigga that didn't have $100. What complexion? Because I've seen her. What complexion do you think she is?
Well, I'm assuming, because you're asking me, she's dark skinned.
You
wouldn't ask.
There's some other reasons that you could come to the same conclusion.
If we weren't having this discussion, no, I would not come to that same conclusion.
Is she up in the
because
room?
light skinned women will have babies with. Wait a minute now, because you know what? I got a good example. The tenant that you brought up that had all those kids in the room wasn't his baby's mother. She was light skinned.
That nigga had youth on his side. He had youth on his side. She may have still he was gonna be something.
It's always a reason.
But you let him get to be about 30 years old, right? And maybe he was stupid. She probably was a little stupid too. To let him get all the babies. And, they're always gonna be an exception. And she probably wasn't that attractive either, right? She just was light skinned. But we don't have that many.
We're talking about intelligence. We weren't talking about whether or not they were. We weren't talking about age. We were just talking about color, right?
These liberals.
So now you're bringing.
The liberals can always find a good reason. They can always find that one exception. I tell you. I'm not finding good reason. I'm just pointing out we were talking about color, not age. We weren't talking about. So all the people that be over here in the ghetto, we should start doing a compilation and just show the people in the ghetto versus the people in Northwest, the women. I guarantee you're not going to see any attractive light-skinned women come over here in the ghetto and live. They'll have a man that'll go get an extra job and keep him out of the ghetto. I believe, they'll have a man that makes more money. It's something to that. Anyway, but we won't hold you long. I know you're probably busy. Any other questions for her while she's on the call here? We got a fairly you call yourself. These light skinned women always call themselves brown skin.
No, I just want to say hi, John's lady's friend. Pleasure to have you here. Portia says hello as well.
I didn't hear all the discussion, but it did sound like the parts that I did hear. It was interesting. So kudos for coming up with the topic.
And yeah, I am the laptop guy, by the way. That is me, as John told you.
Universal is the psychologist on the panel, and he analyzed all these things. Universal, before you go, lovely Lisa. Universal, was that lady that you had to fire? Was she dark skin or light skin?
She was about my complexion actually, so I would say she's brown skin. She wasn't too dark.
I would say that's dark skin. You know.
Yeah.
The problems come once they cross that color barrier, and I think they crossed.
It's in the melanin, huh?
So I'm about the same complexion as Universal Jones.
No, yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
You're a little bit lighter. Yeah, undertone. You're a little bit lighter than Universal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. Thank you for joining. Though we have other calls coming in.
Bye.
Anyway, I was hoping we get some more calls here.
Yeah, the person I tried to line up, she backed out, man. But we'll get somebody next time.
What is he said? Jahad Bill said light skins tend to have more baby daddies. What do you think about that? I don't think so.
I think it depends on where you are. Like if you're in Ohio, that might be true.
Yeah.
Or you're in Milwaukee, that might be true. But overall, no.
Let me ask. I'm glad Sam is up here because I know the way this shit hit. It hit a little different right here. When that
Let me first say, John, you ain't shit, but could continue on.
Hey, when that light skinned woman told that dark skinned nigga this, that shit hit different. That shit hit different. You hear me? That shit just hit different. I'm telling you now what I know. You guys comment for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll I don't know if you guys touched on this at all, and I didn't understand the degree that dark skin do, because I used to always hear about this colorist stuff, and I didn't really buy into it that much. But when I moved down south, I started noticing it a whole lot more, because there's I think a lot more Black people in general and a lot more dark-skinned Black people in general in the South. And so I would hear dudes saying very explicitly, like, they have a very strong preference for light-skinned women. And that was kind of new to me, just because I kind of favor dark skin a little bit. Although, to be fair, I'm open to whatever, but I don't dislike dark skinned women at all. But there was something there. But also too, I'll say that the people that seem to be making those complaints are majority overweight dark skinned Black women. I've found that slim and in shape dark-skinned women don't seem to have much of any problems dating and things like that. So I think it might be a little bit more of a weight issue than a color issue. But I think if you combine that weight with the color, I mean, that's just a lose-lose all around.
Yeah, I agree. What are these texts, John? I haven't seen this from Cardi B.
It's from Offsetting Cardi B. And look what he wrote. He said, damn, you look purty. Come over here, give me some pussy. He said, nigga, I told you. You never getting this light-skinned pussy, Puerto Rican pussy ever again. That shit hit different. That shit hit different. And I believe, and we talked about this over the phone university. I think that, that shit probably struck him harder than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they know that, you know what I mean? I think that is a privilege that they know, that she can always probably upgrade from this motherfucker, even with all these children. But he probably have a lot of time finding another Cardi B, I think that's very true, even with the children.
He'll have a hard time finding another Cardi B, but I don't think he'll have any problem finding another light-skinned chick nor a Spanish chick. So
yeah, but
because he got the money and the
hungry.
fame, so and there's plenty of them out there.
He won't find women with money like that.
No.
No,
You know
that
what I mean?
specific vagina, he's not gonna come by anymore. But
No. Hey, you know, I just found something universal. It
Oh Lord.
Anybody remember this right here? Anybody remember this universal?
Where's Portia at? We gotta put this on the list for the collective karaoke. All the girls want to put that coochie on the sideburns. I remember this.
What did he say right here? What is he saying right here?
Oh, I like a long head, thick red bone. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, I just want to F every girl in the world. Man, when this song came out, boy, oh Lord. I was like, me too.
You might remember this one as well, Universal. Let me see if I can pull this up. I remember this from years ago. I mean, things have gotten a little bit more drastic nowadays. And I'll share my tab here with you. You know, of course, I can't play it, but I can share with you what I noticed in this video. And you remember this video? No, it's not this.
I kind of do. This is a little before my time, but yes.
This may not be the one. I was thinking about the. What's that song? Ice cream cone song.
Ice cream cone song.
Isn't that from like Dipset or something like that?
Raekwon.
Oh, okay.
Anyone ever seen this video? This is before your time, Universe?
Yeah, this is before me and Sam's time. Like we're the Cash Money generation.
I remember this. I remember this, but not super well.
Look at that. Look at that. This is you see where I'm going with this, Universe, right?
I believe so. This is the hoochie. This one the hoochie mama face.
They talking about the colors of ice cream they like. Caramel.
Yeah. Sound like Dr. Umar Johnson. That's how he be describing his women. He be giving them flavors. Butter pecan. I remember this song though. I do remember this song.
Hey, you ready? Even a caramel, son. Even a caramel can get touched.
Yeah. And you know, I think Black women could champion this better to have so much quote unquote diversity in your look, in your skin complexion, in your sex appeal, but they don't utilize it in that way. They fight amongst each other instead of using it as a strength.
Look at this universe. Look at the women.
I see an Asian or two up in there.
Ice cream. Butter pecan. Vanilla.
Yeah.
French vanilla. Butter pecan.
Now, just look at how they're dressed compared to the Cash Doll photo we just looked at. Like you know what I'm saying? Like they're still a little hoochie mama-ish, but that ain't what we seeing today. We seeing everything today.
You know, I think part of what we're seeing in the Cash Doll is, I mean, Cash Doll got to compete. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that one right there.
Yes,
that one right there. Boy. Hello.
I hate a freaking Rican.
Yeah, took John back, huh?
Look at them housing projects in the back, nigga. Where that is now. Sam, you got a Rican like
that? Not quite. I'm working on stair-stepping my way up to that. I'm trying to get back. I'm trying to get back over to Brazil, so I can really get. You know what I'm saying?
You go to Puerto Rico. Go to Puerto Rico. Man, if I was a Black woman, I saw this kind of shit, I'd be like, close the fucking borders right now. Okay, I ain't no more of this.
Hey, I've been saying, if they were flooding the country with a bunch of bad bitches from everywhere, these women wouldn't be championing these open borders like that.
Hey, you know what? Let me go back to this right here. Goddamn, like, listen. They keep bringing them bitches over here like that. Niggas gonna be nodding their head with this bitch. Hell yeah, send us out here to go get us some
Bro,
pussy.
the white women, the
Yeah.
Beckham, the Bentleys, and Emily's voting for Trump. This is what I got to say.
Deploy the BBC brigade. Let's go.
You know what she didn't mention on Universal?
What?
She didn't mention was they're Puerto Rican. They're freaking Puerto Rican. She mentioned it. She mentioned the Becky Lee's.
Yeah. That's the pinnacle. That's the top of the mountain.
Mention.
But you know what? I don't think
that right now. She didn't mention that.
I just think in general, I don't think, and maybe there's a lot of white women, so the few that are in the black dudes, you know, there's maybe enough to go around. But I just, in my recent years, I just do not see white women going for black dudes like that are not athletes and very high status. You know what I mean? Except for on the lower end, but
right.
Yeah.
There's not this huge cohort of white women chasing after black dudes. And I'll say this, I kind of came to this thought or conclusion some years back, but I almost don't want to date a white woman who likes black dudes, which is weird to say. Well, because they're attracted to a certain type of dude that's not me. And
Hey,
I
Sam,
don't know.
you know what's interesting about that? You say that my buddy Philippe says the same thing. Like, he doesn't want white women to date black men. Like, if they say, "Ooh, I date black men," like, I don't want that. Like,
Yeah, because that, to me, that says that they're kind of chasing to leech on to the black culture and other things. I take it as we're interested in the more negative aspects of black culture, and I'm not that. I won't be that for them, and they'll probably end up being dissatisfied with me. So I'm just not interested.
A Queen of Spades. John, you know what a Queen of Spades is? You heard of that?
yeah, I heard of the Indian spades. Yeah.
Oh, so it's a term that is common amongst white women that like black dudes. They call themselves Queen of Spades, and some of the in the underground sex world, they'll have a certain tattoo. It's a spade you in the middle. Oh yeah,
yeah. She'll have a spade card on her ass.
Yep.
Really?
Or in their ankle. That's another area I've seen it.
Shit, I had never heard that before.
Yep, Queen of Spades. White women who they only like the black men. Yeah.
But I think there's this woman right here, man, like on this video, this cream woman, jeez, Louise. I think there's a reason why, you hear the black woman saying black men gonna go over here and get these white women some BBC as punishment for voting for Trump. But we've opened up the border to millions of women like this.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
let them all in. Let them all in. No dudes. You know what? If I was king, I know this sounds weird, but I would literally have no men coming through. I would let some women come through to cure the incel issue to a degree, and that would be it. I mean, I would not be letting all these dudes come in. I know from a certain perspective, probably the dudes are a little bit more productive in an economic sense, but that's not what I'm thinking about.
That woman right there would make a man get a second job. Real, right? Serious business, right? I truly believe that. If she can put some motivation in his back,
Yeah.
I truly believe that. And
that's a good point. That's a good point, John. I think that's something we don't admit, but it is true that certain women will motivate men to do things differently, for sure.
And I think part of it is how they look, man. They don't want to lose it.
No, that's a big part of it. It's not even character, especially if it's a woman that you quote unquote think is out of your league and you bag her. You will start changing some shit real quick.
Yeah.
And you notice that a lot of these the upper echelon, not upper echelon, but let's say average and above, even tiny bit below average, white women, Spanish women, whatever it is. Those brothers always, the dudes that they're with, the black men they're with, they always got a job. They on the construction site. They here, they're there. they just have a whole different way about them, and they seem to be a lot more productive.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Universal, you think we should come back on this, and where should we go on the next series installation of this right here?
Yeah, we should go into Black parenting and Black women and how they treat their daughters versus their sons and help them prepare for relationships.
I like that. I like that. I like that idea. Someone said, damn, that's not a bad idea, jihad. I think he was talking about something else, though. Spades is a racially derogatory term.
It is.
Never heard of it. Me either. I never heard of it. Any other suggestions, guys? This is kind of interesting topic to me, and it always comes up in the on the regular panel, and I figured we give people some space over here to hear from Universal Jones, who always has a universal interesting insight on things, and what else, guys. We love, and if you have women that would like to jump, we got a woman jumping on the panel now. Woman, Eric, can I call you Tim?
Absolutely.
Is that fair if I call you dark skin? I refer to myself as dark skin. Right? I think we're about to say.
That's sweet Ghirardelli chocolate coming up.
Kimmy Case, you up here?
Okay.
We hear you.
Why is it important? Like, if this is an Asian woman, white woman, a Puerto Rican lady, if he wants to stick his dick in a rainbow, who cares? Like, why is that important?
Well, before we answer, I would encourage you to ask Black women the same question.
Well, Kimmy Case,
I should ask Black women. I'm a Black
Yeah,
woman.
you should ask Black women that same question.
Well, Kimmy Case,
and be prepared to fight.
Kimmy Case, I'll tell you this.
Yeah, play that.
No, I don't want you to say.
I've seen that before.
Well, I don't want you to say she's crazy, but what is she saying? Why does she care who Black men go have sex with? And why does she see their dicks as like weapons? She's saying, if I can't get it, go fuck somebody else's life up. Listen.
For all of the white women, the Beckleys and the Bentleys and Emilys who voted for Trump, this is what I gotta say to you. Whenever your little Emily comes home full of Tyreekuses, come shop.
I mean, I don't even need to play anymore. Like, she's putting down the men that she probably desired.
I remember her, and I don't like her, and I don't like how she thinks people should be A, punished for voting for President Trump, and then B, she's talked about killing white women, like, or raping them or whatever. She was real crazy. Like, this is insane.
Yeah. And this woman has a misunderstanding of she's thinking that there's all these MAGA white women who date and accidentally get pregnant by Black men, but I would dare say that your MAGA woman is probably not unlikely, but least likely to be messing around with the type of Black dudes that she's thinking of. So I think,
exactly.
Well, I think she's saying their daughters and shit like that.
Like
their daughters too. Their daughters too.
I think she's thinking about those guys as like deadbeats that'll like ruin their lives because they will abandon them and the child at some point.
Well, we were watching Kevin Samuels the other night, and he asked a woman, he said, if you're fat, you're not so attractive, is it over for you? Does anyone remember that? We were watching Kevin Samuels. He was asking the women, have you given up? Is it over? Most women said, maybe one of them did say she's given up on dating and stuff like that. And so you look at that woman that I just showed you. Has she really just given up? Right? Like, has she given up? And now she wants to use Black men, the ones that she can't get, to go and just tear down other societies and cultures. That's more or less how she referred to them.
Well, the funny thing is, she could get plenty of Black men. I mean, there's a lot of Black men that's not going to turn down no coochie. What I think she is, but the thing is, a lot of those types of Black men aren't going to be productive in the same way she would like, or at least thinks that white men and other types of these dudes are. But there's also a bit of not willingness to look in the mirror to understand. And I think a lot of Black women misunderstand this, which is a lot of other women are conforming to what their men or cultures want of them. They're not constantly trying to be contrarians or fight against this or that. And Black women are just rebellious, a lot of them. And so I think a big part of it too is their rebellion. I mean, this woman could walk down plenty of streets and talk to plenty of Black dudes, but you know, are they going to be the doctors, lawyers, this to that with her looking like this? Absolutely not.
But why does it matter? That's her problem. Like we should have no concerns about that.
Well, you know, one of the things you know, I talked about it in a previous stream. I went down the Facebook ads of people, as an example, who are looking for housing, and women would post their pictures, and clearly the better looking women are going to get chosen by the landlords. And I think, you know, unattractive women are going to face roadblocks and obstacles at every turn. And I think the Black woman faces probably more of those than every other group. She faces them internally as well as externally.
But I would argue, John, that has less to do with their color and more to do with what's the stereotype or the common experience of people that have that similar look, you know what I mean, for better or worse, you know. Because I see this woman, I already see problems. I don't want to be arguing this, that, and the other.
I don't know. Like as a Black woman, like I can't sit here and say, "Oh, I've lived a life of struggle." I can't even claim it.
You're married, Kimmy Cakes. How many of your friends are married?
Good question.
Out of my friend group, I'd say I'm the only one.
Exactly.
I don't know other married women though.
No. How about your friends?
Now I know your sister Kimmy Cakes, so I know she's not married, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And remember the girl that moved down to DC?
Sherry.
She's not married. Sherry. No children either, correct?
No, she says she doesn't want children.
She's about 40 something, correct?
I believe so. I didn't know her that well, but I think so.
And on it goes, right? You say, yeah, right? Would you say that's fair, Kimmy Case?
Yeah. Like most of the girls we used to hang out with, I don't think any of them were married. But even the white girls too, though.
You want to respond to that, Universe?
Even the white girls we hung out with back then, John, they weren't married either.
What do you think about that, Universal?
I think Kimmy's a special case.
I mean, clearly she's one of the few married ones, right?
Yeah, but also I think that there's a cultural influence here that's different than Black American women. And I know you grew up here, but you have a Caribbean influence. There is a difference there.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, Kimmy. And I know a lot of women don't accept that because you just accept yourself as Black women collectively, but it's a huge difference. Huge difference.
I agree. I was actually saying that on the other live, and I was also saying being in New York City, like no one cares about colorism out here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like my landlord gave me my apartment because of my credit score. He didn't give a fuck what I look like. You got credit, money? Cool, let's go.
Is your husband Caribbean?
He is, but he's like me, born here.
Call it the universe.
Yeah, see, and I think a lot of people don't realize or understand the impact of that. Because I'll even go a step further. I've seen a lot of dark-skinned Black women with white men, but 9 times out of 10, they're African or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. Let me ask you this question, Kimmy Case. Did he mostly date Caribbean women?
I would say mostly like American women.
Be a little bit more specific, Kimmy Case.
Like he would, like the girls would be like have like generations going back in America. And then he dated some Caribbean women, but I think mostly like American women.
But he married a Caribbean.
Yeah.
And you are very Caribbean. I know you don't act like it. But you know,
I am. I think I act like it, but John knows me very well, and you're right. I'm not going to.
I mean, you can assimilate, and then people won't know it, but then you get you in your comfort zone.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen the real me, so you know.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I actually appreciate that. I think that being able to, I would say that's code switching. I think that's an asset and a skill, honestly. But black women don't code switch well unless they're around white people. That's a different, like black American women. And you asked a question earlier, Kimmy, why do we care? We care because this commentary is shared publicly and it's creating a mindset, and that mindset is creating the outcomes and the results that we see today. That's why we care. Yes,
what are those outcomes and results?
Well, I'll give you a good example.
Okay.
You're married. You go to work. Shit, you throw a little extra effort in and go round the niggas up. Right?
That is true.
This angry motherfucker ain't going to work rounding nobody up. She mad as hell. Right? She mad. She coming to work mad as hell. She not putting no extra effort in. I think it's those little things magnified times a million. The small cuts in life. Right? That can't find a man, bring that anger to work, and on it goes. Take it out on any children that she may have by some man. Like the shit going on. Like sometimes I'll be in the front of my house and I hear women walking their children to school, cursing in the phone. Or at the children.
I've seen that. I've seen that too. It's really disgusting.
Right. And I think all this shit is interconnected to me. You know what I'm saying? I tell you about the woman in the room pregnant with the baby. That shit has to be very, very, because, I don't think black women see, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but black women aren't seeing white women and other groups of women struggle like this. Am I wrong? If anybody disagrees with me, I would love to hear you counter. But Universal, go ahead. What you got to say? Am I wrong about that, Universal?
No, I think you're right on point. You're right on point with it. Kimmy, what was your question again? I wanted to address your question.
No, it was really just about the importance. But I hear what John is saying. It has like a larger impact on society, on the children involved. So now it's starting to make sense to me. So I'm like, why are we watching another man's bedroom? But it makes sense now.
There's a collective mentality, and again, Kimmy, I mentioned this earlier. I wasn't talking about you, but I was just mentioning there's a generational divide. And we do have to think about this from two different generational stratuses. And I think you're at the cusp of that, where we have this second half of millennials that are dealing with stuff like what this lady's talking about. And the dating market is amongst that group. And when it comes to black male, black female dynamics, it's really, the results are bad. Like, I honestly don't think there's any turning back from it, to be honest. I think it's a foregone conclusion. So that's my thoughts.
Go ahead. Hood just joined. You have some comments. I know University got to get out of here. You got to get out of here, right? University.
I moved my the perks of being the boss. I moved my meeting. We good.
All right, we're going another 30 minutes. Or so.
Don't leave, bro. They only want to listen to you.
Yeah,
For some reason, you can sell these ideas in this space. So I'm support you 1,000%, and I tend to agree with you as well. I think it's a done deal. The writing is on the wall, and not only that, people like almost violently resist you when you try to point out these really, really stark problems between the men and the women.
Yeah. I just thought about this. When you mentioned that, Hood, you see the Brandon Scott saying, "Protect black women. Our black women built this country," and some of the guys, that seems to be a pattern. On the male side of this is the men that don't have black women, the ones that seemingly are carrying the banner for them. If you look on the channel, when we're streaming,
what I noticed, John. What I noticed, John, is a strain of pro-blackness in a lot of men. Regardless of who they date, there's this pro-black strain. And what that means is there's like an affinity to mother and mother's issues and women's issues and all that. And so it just turns into a thing of like, defending women because your mama was a single black woman. And once it gets to that point, it's really difficult to like have objective conversations with guys because they go into like mama defense mode. And I see that all the time.
At University, you hire a lot of black women, correct?
I have. I don't know more. But yeah, I have.
Can you tell us some of the dynamics of why you don't anymore? I guess you could start there.
Shit, John. Honestly, most of the problems that I've had since I've been in leadership or management, I'm not lying. Most of the issues I've had have been with black women. Not with me, but just like productivity, issues with their peers, cutting corners, pissing off our quote unquote customers or our clients. A lot of those issues have come from black women, and it's always some interpersonal issue that spirals into the work. Like it really doesn't have anything to do with the actual job. It's like their own shit gets in the way, and then they start taking it out on how they do their job.
Give me an example of some interpersonal things.
Okay. So damn, this was a bigger woman too. But a couple years ago, and she was actually lighter skinned too, to be honest. A couple years ago, I had a she was probably about 28 at the time, maybe not quite 30, but she was a case manager. We were working at a organization where we were doing work with families and helping the families deal with truancy issues. So her job was to meet with the kid at the school, meet with the parents or caregivers, and then assist the family in whatever resources they need to help this kid get back to school. The program's called Be at School, if anybody wants to check it out. So it's a truancy diversion program that's kind of a workaround to make sure that kids get back into school, because what we know is most kids who are truant, they usually have other complex issues that take place. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna just add to what Universal is saying, and that because I happen to work with a lot of black women, and there's this mentality that my problems are everyone's problems, and I think that kind of stems from you could even look at it from the government perspective of, I made all these babies, now all of y'all got to pay for them. So I just think there's that type of mentality where my problems are everyone's problems.
No, that's terrible. I think that's socialism, honestly. I don't know if it's like a black thing, but it's definitely socialism.
You're right, Kimmy.
Culture
It
is
is
very socialist. If you know
Yes, you guys are hitting it. You guys are hitting it on the head, and that is socialism. Because and if you think about it, our culture has been influenced heavily by socialism, and we look at things from this collective model. So when you say, Kimmy, why does someone care about what happens in this person's bedroom? It's because culturally we care about all that when we shouldn't even have to. We shouldn't need to, but we do.
I don't.
Yeah, but you're also, I don't want to call you a tether, but you're a tether, Kim. I'm just playing.
And you know what? Honestly, hold on. I think it's not even about the racial dynamic of being tethered or not. This is a gender thing. It's difficult to expect women to see it this way. This is why they sell socialism to women more than men, because women are just naturally wired to see things a certain way. For collectively, women have a more collective spirit when it comes to, resources and who should get what. Women just don't think like men when it comes to like, this is mine and you can't have it.
I'm a very meticulous person. I've so been told by psychologists. I'm a very meticulous person. I feel like you should get what you earned.
Yeah. And I guarantee you that mentality has served you well professionally and probably dating wise as well, because you probably get exactly what you want.
Hey, Universal, go ahead and tell us some more of the problems you have.
I can't claim struggles of black women. Have I had problems? Yes. But I can't be like, I lived a life of struggle. I can't say that.
No.
Tell us the problems of the sisters.
So her life. So this was a younger woman, like I said, she was about 26, 27, maybe 28 at the time. She was just trying to get her stuff together. But what I ended up learning as we got close to terminating her is she was struggling to pay her rent because she had got some apartment that was way beyond her means.
I wonder why she did that.
because she wanted to live a high life, man. She wanted to live a life that she couldn't afford, but also she was having relationship problems. And since she was having relationship problems, a lot of the folks that she was working with as a case manager, she was like trying to counsel them on how to fix their stuff when she needed to fix her own. And that was getting in the way. So what we were getting complaints like, yeah, she's trying to tell me what to do with my kids and tell me how to run my relationship. So she started letting her own issues get in the way of the actual work, which we can't have because we're running a program that's specifically trying to help these folks move from point A to point B, but you're allowing your things to get in the way of making it happen. So ultimately it ended kind of bad. We had to terminate her, but
she was overwhelmed, clearly. Not your problem, but she
overwhelmed. And I'm probably too nice, to be honest. You know, I did coaching to try to get her some help. We even did some, some workarounds to let her benefit from some of the actual programming we offered to try to get her stabilized to keep doing the work. And she just couldn't break through the barrier.
Got it. Now, I will say to your point, I think to your point or John's point, a part of how me and John became friends, actually, he wasn't even around. And I was like fighting off these women who were talking shit about him. Like a bunch of black women they just fucking hated him. And I was like, well, why do y'all hate him so much? It's like, you should hear what he says about black people and black women. And he dates black women. I can't believe it. And I was like, wait a minute. What does he say? Because the same reasons y'all hate him, y'all might hate me. Because I know what I think and feel sometimes. And then they were going off on like how he's a Trump supporter and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, like he's my twin. Let me make friends with this guy. So that's kind of how I got to know John. Because people were just talking crazy cash money-ish about him. And I was like literally fighting for this person I didn't even know. I'm like, wait a minute, because I just don't like to fall into what people say. I like to find out for myself if it's worth me like figuring it out. And then when I got to know John, I'm like, he's an incredible guy. He's a genius, and he sees things for what it is. It's these people who are kind of like have that, like you said, collective mindset that are struggling to understand his perspective and think he's a evil person because of the perspective he has, which is not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kim.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not criticizing black people. I mean, I may criticize some things black people do, but I'm just more or less like looking 10, 15 years down the road, or even looking at the current problems that we see.
They couldn't see that far, John. That's why you were public enemy number one.
The anger this lady expresses, like that she takes out into the workplace, a Universal's job, and he says, shit, I don't want to deal with this anymore, right? And it extends to the landlord. What you say, Universal? She having trouble paying rent?
Yeah. Right? She's living above her means.
Right. And probably she's living above her means because she don't want to live in the ghetto where she could more afford.
Right.
We've seen that on the stream. And so now the problem bubbles up to her workplace, right? Where she struggles to do her job competently because she got a lot of other shit going on, right? So go ahead, Universal.
No, I think again, it's just something that we see happen over and over. And it's not that I'm opposed to hiring black women. I'm not. I have just had a better experience hiring non-black women than black women. I've actually had, no lie, John, one of my black female staff, we had a conversation about a month ago, and she was like, I hate to say this, but why is it always us? Why are we the ones always messing up? And I had to just break it down to her, and kind of like what Kimmy was saying is because we have this collective mindset where we don't want an individual one of us to get beyond the group, but we also don't want to struggle. So we have this kind of dichotomy in our thinking and even our belief in ourselves to be beyond what we are, because we don't want anyone to get further and we don't want anyone to be worse. It's a weird dynamic that we have collectively.
Weird.
Black people don't believe in hierarchy.
I'm jealous.
There you go, hierarchy. There is because there are so little traditional patriarchal father knows best style relationships in Black America. The overwhelming majority of Black women grow up. I mean, all Black people, but Black women in this context, the overwhelming majority grow up in an environment where there is no real natural authority. And I'm sorry, ladies, you are not a natural authority figure of the family unit. And no matter how many kids, how long you've been alone raising kids, that's an inescapable problem. And so what winds up happening is you have a lot of women who have grown up unaccustomed to actual authority figures and operating within the bounds of actual authority figures. And then you get the who gonna check me boo problem. And so you got generations of women who never been checked. and now you can't check them because it's illegal.
I don't know. Like my dad wasn't really like an authoritarian type. He would just give money to everything. Like he was a provider. I wouldn't say he was more of the like this is not going to happen. But also he didn't really need to do that because we just obeyed all of what we were supposed to do, which could be a Caribbean thing.
Exactly.
Hey, Hood, let me ask a quick question. We don't have to go on a deep dive on this. I just want to know if you are familiar with her. Hood, are you familiar with Rashida Strober? Is that her name? The dark skin advocate?
I'm sure he is. I am.
I'm sure he is. I remember her from a couple of years ago. I don't really remember anything recently from her, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't know what she.
Yeah, I don't think she has anything recent. I just want to know if you were familiar with it. That's it. Okay.
Hey, hold on. Universal, look at this right here. JQ is saying they have drama in his workplace because of the sisters. They don't even know why they are arguing. They say the energy is off. You know.
The vibe. It's the vibe.
That's the new word I think now they use is energy. Bring that same energy they always be saying and shit. He says, I don't know what the fuck that means. I tell you, energy. You got it means vibe. You know what vibe means? You got that vibe. You got that vibe. And he says, he says, what? But he said something else. Let's see. She bought everyone in the office lunch except for her. There are 40 plus women. So I guess she brought everybody some lunch.
Well, speaking of pretty privilege, Lolo, come up. What are you talking about?
Lolo, Lolo's a little sensitive though, so you can't really ask him. They really would get down to the immediate matter of these things. Like, because what I would like to ask a pretty woman, right? Kimmy Cates, she's Caribbean, she's married, she can't really, she's bouncing this shit off. She's probably not paying attention to the men that are hitting on her. But a young woman, Lolo, who's still in the market, right? Kimmy Cates ain't in the market.
Right.
She's listening to some of these cat calls. And I wonder, does she notice the difference that when she goes out with her friends, I guess maybe all pretty girls run together, but when she sees ugly girls and they don't get any attention, right? You come back, you see the fat, ugly girls at Lowe's where Lolo works, they don't get any attention. Like, that has to be very, very obvious, right? What do you think?
I don't want to put words in Lolo's mouth because I don't know Lolo like that, but I find that prettier women tend to act like they don't know what's going on and this and that. But if they're in a fight with somebody, then they're very vocal about what they see. But I find the prettier women don't like to bash on the uglier women. But I could be wrong. I'll let Lolo speak for herself.
Kimmy Cates, I know you're married and all, but do you think that has had an effect on your life? Being an attractive woman, just you're treated differently.
I think people say so, but I don't think so.
It may be one of those things we just don't notice. What could be.
Fish don't know about water, bro.
I feel like people treat me worse sometimes because of how I look. They think I have it easy and all this stuff, and they go out of their way to be difficult towards me.
That's a woman thing. There's no man in the world that goes out of his way to be mean to ugly women. I mean, to pretty women.
No.
Ugly women. Hell, we even try to be nice to ugly women.
I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I prefer men bosses, because I just be living
so it's
life.
women. It's a woman thing to be hitting on you because you're pretty.
Yeah, that happens.
Universal, the subject of this stream really was this whole Travis Hunter, black women, shit like this. I'm not sure if you saw this, Universal. Did you see this?
Yeah, I seen that. I thought I sent this to you last night when we were talking.
I saw it. And I also saw the angle that where Dion had to tap her on the shoulder. Hey, stripper, get your ass up.
Yeah.
It's time to get up on the pole now, right? Damn, bitch. It's the game. All right.
You go walk around.
You just heard you go walk around, right? Yeah, you got my debit card. Go spend some money. And a woman that really wants to be with you, she can let you bask in your moment. I think the time would fly, right? But she a stripper. She used to be in the center of attention. And I think she like, damn, what the fuck are we doing? Why he here be in attention?
Bro. He just put out a video like, why y'all keep talking about my girl, man? Now she drinking and crying all day because the whole internet be roasting her. But all the men on the internet, like, bro, I can tell she's not that into you.
But she was on the internet talking about everything else she was doing before she met him. And but I think, again, like, could a sister who had this kind of like, I don't think he could stay with a sister like this. It's that pretty light-skinned white privilege, not black privilege. That long natural hair, I think that's her hair, I'm probably going to assume. That gives her a lot more leeway than, say, the girl Travis Kelce was with. What do you think, Universe? I think you're on mute, Universe.
Oh, my bad, John. So I just peeked into the other live. They're watching us, and when your lady friend called in, it messed up the audio, so they're all confused on why they can't hear. It was choppy, but I think we're back on, and it's fine now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it didn't come through correctly for some reason, so they're all confused.
But it called in correctly. It came in correctly over here on this.
Yeah, me and you could hear it just fine, but somehow it didn't translate
for the audience either.
Yeah, for the audience, yeah, but
here on YouTube either.
No, yeah, it actually me, you, and her are choppy.
Right now?
Not right now, but when they're a little behind in the stream.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so we'll see if I'll pay attention to the chat and see if it picks back up. I'm just looking in the chat and figuring and got the captions on, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on what they're talking about. But something happened. But ask your question again because I was halfway paying attention. Sorry.
Oh shit, I forget. Oh, I was just saying, the fact that she's able to keep him with her background, I think demonstrates the privilege. Kind of somewhere in the subconscious of a black girl mind, she's like, damn, I didn't get him. And with all this shit swirling around her, she can keep him. I don't think many sisters could keep this man with this kind of shit. I don't think he'd be able to stand there and defend her. I saw him at the table eating some crabs or something. Did you see that video?
Yeah, they was mukbanging. Yeah, I seen it.
And it's in there eating crabs, man. I'm like, damn. And they're answering questions about she ain't really into you. He's trying his best to defend her. Yes, she is. Yeah. She really like me. Anyway, Hood, you had something to say?
Do you think it's a self-esteem thing?
Yeah.
Like the best he could get that probably wasn't a black woman is a woman that is a sex worker. Like maybe it's a self-esteem issue.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, guys have a long history of trying to wipe up strippers, where he's not the first one to ever try it.
Look at the look on that boy face. Look at the physiognomy on that boy. Like, he's not going to get very attractive women. Look at him.
Damn, John.
At that point, he wasn't. But that's when he got her shortly after this.
But even at that, man, he still probably got a lot of psychological trauma being called ugly for a long time.
Right. Exactly.
I don't think people truly understand like the male plight. Like most men don't even touch vagina in their lifetime. Most guys don't reproduce. If it wasn't for sex workers, most guys wouldn't even touch it. So it's like there's a lot that it takes for a guy to just even score. And I don't think people understand how it really breaks down for a lot of guys. There are a lot of guys out there, if a girl ever just waved at him, it would make his day for the rest of his life.
Yeah, like I want you to listen to his voice because he wasn't much older when he met this stripper. This is a woman who probably is already selling pussy at this point by the time she met him. Right? Am I wrong? Right? We saw the video. right? She's probably selling pussy or about to start selling pussy by the time she meets him. Am I correct about that, Universal?
Absolutely.
Right?
That's probably how you got it.
She's showing that ass by the time, and I want you to listen to his voice.
Travis Hunter, DBA and receiver at Constant High School, committed to FSU.
Look at his hands.
Travis Hunter, DBA and receiver at Constant High School, committed to FSU.
See, little shit like
Little shit like that, I would have plucked my son upside the head until he stopped doing stuff like that. Like little things that you notice about your kid.
This is a young boy.
And I can see like you don't have a father around you to stop you from doing all that childish stuff in front of people.
No. He had a father around him, but this is a young man.
He got his father
with a young woman who is at her peak, birthing period. 19 years old. She ready to have that baby. She ready to find her man. She already been up on the pole. She is sexually advanced.
So hold on. It's his dad right now, though. Like he's doing all this.
His dad is in the picture. I could show you the video, but I'm just saying this woman was sexually more. Assuming all of this is true, she's a stripper and all that. Like she's sexually more advanced, as you were saying. Hood, most of these young men, he probably ain't touched no pussy at this point in his life. Listen at it, and here come a stripper. See a meal ticket. She been stripping for money. This boy a meal ticket for her. In my opinion, that's what it is. It's coming off to be. Because I wouldn't be defending this, right? Universal, am I wrong about that? You think he'd be defending a sister?
It depends on what she looks like, but I highly doubt it.
You think a sister could be fine enough, like considering his options, to have him defending her like that? A stripper sister. It'd be hard.
Do I think?
I have nothing to do with being fine. He likes her.
He like her because she fine. That's how he met her.
Yeah, but being fine helps. It adds a little. It's like to the second power.
Nigga, it don't happen without her being fine.
Yeah,
without her being fine. A beautiful like magic, bro. There's something about female beauty. But the thing is, if you're the kind of guy who doesn't get a lot of female attention, any woman will do. And so I don't think it's about her per se being all beautiful. I just think he needed a girlfriend. He got one, and now he's in love.
Well, he got the best he could deserve. He got the best he thought he could get. Right?
At the time.
Right, at the time, right? And it just happened to be a stripper who may have, pulled a fast one on it.
Like he would put the exact amount of love into any other girl he dates. It just happens to be her right now.
See, I think a stripper is someone, who has to be prodded to get up. A woman that really, really liked him. A woman who really liked him wouldn't be sitting here like, hey, what the hell am I supposed to be doing? Right?
Mm.
Am I wrong, Universal? You ever been with a woman like shit? Like you probably go to functions and shit like that, right? Yeah. You probably taking women. They ain't got shit to do while you going into the convention, right?
Yeah.
And they're so happy to be with you, they go figure out something to do, right?
Yes. Go sit at the bar, go get a massage,
read a book, go on the beach, do something.
But I know strippers, and I don't know any stripper that really is in love with a man. It's all like I think they just see them as like a an exchange thing.
Yeah,
and a lot of the strippers I know, they don't only strip; they do a lot of other stuff too.
And that's kind of our point. Like
that was the whole theory. You don't want to know how far the whole theory goes. Y'all just gonna get mad at me.
Yeah, I once asked one girl if her fiance like knew the whole truth like about what she did, and she was like, "No," and I was like, "Oh," I'm like, "These guys just be," but then they never ended up getting married, and he ended up going back to his ex.
Timmy, how many women truly love their man anyway? And I'm not even strippers. I did. Please, I know you're an innocent angel cake, and I don't want to make you feel bad. I'm not talking about you.
I'm not saying I'm an innocent angel cake.
How many women truly love their man, Kimmy?
I do. I think the universe for him every day.
Like a motherfucker, twice in a row.
AJQ, man, can you call in,
every
man?
Day.
AJQ, can you call in and tell us about these sister problems at your job?
If he would let me bait them, I would. but he won't let me.
You got the number. The number's in the chat. If you want to call in and tell us about the sister problems that you're having at your job, we would love to hear it. Because I want to know how many of them are married, JQ. Anyone want to call in the numbers in the chat right there? How many of them are married? Let me put that. How many of them are married? Anyone on the panel had problems with sisters causing problems at work?
I'll throw something at you, John. So where I work, it's primarily Black women and Latinas or Spanish women. And an observation I made that I found interesting is all the Spanish women are married and practically all the Black women are not.
What kind of work is it?
With the government.
Shocking. How do you think that affects the environment?
Well, they tend to, in my opinion, and not saying every last one, but most of them, it's funny, I tell everybody, they're basically the women that you would encounter working at the DMV. And so while we do customer service type work, their whole attitude is what I'm not gonna do. And the funniest thing to me is they often have these clashes when they're servicing customers like themselves. And it's just funny to see. It's like somebody fighting at the mirror. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is, Universal?
They want something that their culture, that the culture that they've created doesn't allow them to have. I think that's ultimately what ends up happening. While you all were talking, I was scrolling through Instagram. Have you seen Kai Sanat's girlfriend, John?
She's brown skin, right? Pull her up, Universal.
She's light enough. Let me see if I'm gonna see if I can find her IG. Let me see if I can find her IG. Gabrielle.
You made somebody famous. Yo, JQ, man, I wish you could call in, man. Tell us about this problem you're having. Why can't you call in, bro? Step outside, make a quick call. What line of business are you in, JQ?
I wish I could.
Kimmy Case, what about you? You work with a lot of sisters?
It's mixed. I usually, in general, just work with more whites than blacks, but
the other sisters on your job, what's the demographics? Married, not married, children?
Sisters are, well, the older ones are married, the younger ones are not.
Really? And how old are the young ones?
I would say most of them are retired. They just came back out here to make extra money.
I mean, the young ones. What's the age
young
of the
ones? They go from like 25 to about 34, I would say.
Oh, really? It's prime age right there.
Yeah. Like my boss, she hates me. She's gorgeous, first of all. She's an Indian woman, beautiful, but she just hates me. Like, you know. But I think that the day she finds someone, she'd probably be a little bit happier.
Why do you think that?
I mean, I think that's the one thing she's missing. She has the looks, she has a job, she has everything, but she's just missing that one thing.
And even though she's not black, I think black women are faced with that same dilemma. A lot of
Do most of the young black men at your schools, or is there a lot of interracial dating at your schools? And what is the direction of
a lot of the black guys date the Asian girls here.
See,
there's like one or two black guys.
Screen, John.
There's like one or two black guys that would date black boys that would date the white girls, but the white girls here don't really like black men.
This is about as dark as they're gonna get moving forward.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, which one is a girlfriend?
the one with the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about as dark as they're gonna get.
Hey, JQ, you can call in, man. No one would notice this. It's just you can call in. You know, it's a Google number, so you don't have to worry about being exposed or anything. We love it. We'd love to hear you before we close out. We got 9 minutes before I need to step away anyway, Universal, and we'll let you get back. But the next topic we're going to cover, I think we should include some parenting there, Universal.
Yeah, we definitely got to dive into the parenting piece.
I would love to get my friend on here. I told you she has to drop her baby off at the police station.
Why?
Because of the problems that she's having with the baby's father. And, she's had to get a gun. right? She's had to get protective things. So of course that's going to take her away from her job dealing with all these administrative type things, as you can imagine. So her employer, Universal Jones, is going to be like, why the hell do you need all this time off? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And all these kind of things that I think really, really, again, take away from their productivity on their job. And then it causes them to just have general frustration and anger. Factor in, money issues, and you really have a toxic stew there. And so, people
A
that deal,
toxic stew.
yeah, but people that deal with this, the universal in the hiring and me in the housing, Kim and Cakes in the educating, it began, Sam in dating them. And some of you guys are having a double dose working in and dating them. And so it is very interesting dynamic. See how this all plays out.
Yeah.
So one thing I would to talk about Universal was like what I think is the higher rates of child abuse on the darker skinned children.
Is that a stat?
It's one of the things that I've seen. Like, we showed the video earlier of the men doting on the lighter skinned children. I've seen in my own life tenants who tend to treat the lighter skinned child nicer in the house. And what do you mean say treat them nicer? How do you know? Well, they might get the bigger room. Or they may get the PlayStation 2 and the shoes and shit will look a little better than the other kids, things like that. Or the father of that child may come and, dote on him, whereas the father of the darker skinned child, when they have different parents, fathers typically, you see the different treatment there. So it's a very interesting dynamic.
I think it sounds like the 1800s. I'm not even gonna lie.
Say what?
It sounds like the 1800s. Like, that doesn't sound like today.
What makes you think? Well,
Go ahead.
What would make you think, Kimmy, that any of that racialized programming has gone away?
Well, I think because like the older child would get like the bigger room. That's usually how that goes. So like, I don't know. I don't come from a family of different fathers, so I don't know how that works. But I don't know. I just don't see it. Like,
Well, if you factor in that, let's say, and I'll tell you a funny story. And I've told the story before.
Or sometimes it might happen based on gender. Like girls might get like a punishment that's lesser than what the boy will get. Stuff like that.
When I used to own this apartment building, I had a tenant that had multiple baby daddies. And one of the baby daddies apparently went to Harvard or one of these Ivy League schools. So therein of itself caused a disparity. And he was a fairly light-skinned guy. Therein of itself caused a disparity within the children. His child support payment would be bigger than everyone else, all the other children's child support payment. That alone made that one child, who's also going to be a little bit more light-skinned, more valuable, more of a resource than all the rest of the children. That alone would make that mama look at that child a whole lot different. That's one of the things I noticed, being a landlord. Universe, I see you rubbing your brow over there. You have thoughts on that?
No, keep going. I'm getting my thoughts together. Keep going.
But yeah, and so that alone, this woman having a light-skinned child, looser coiled hair. The father went to Harvard or Brown or Yale or wherever. He's probably kicking down big child support. I think those type of differences, when you start to have those blended families, those distinctions are made between the children.
That's why I always say blended families don't work. It's always going to be distinctions between the children.
Yeah,
just because they have different parents.
Yeah, I would agree. It's really difficult, and making them work takes a lot of effort. A lot of effort.
Yeah, I think so too. Anyway, guys, this has been great. Go ahead, Kim.
Like if let's say I was married to someone who had a child, and then like I had a child, I would not do. I don't think I would treat those children equally. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not going to treat the other child bad, but I'm not going to really like go out of my way for like I would for my child for someone else's. And I can wholeheartedly say that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this then. And Kimmy Case, I know you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, so the Brady Bunch lied to everybody.
That's a fact.
Well, here's the thing: the Brady Bunch had a house big enough for all them motherfuckers.
Right.
Right. And a father who could go out and work and leave the mama at home. So there's no shortage of resources. But where there is a shortage, or when there is a shortage of resources, and there comes a time for choosing, then it's only natural that you're gonna put the resources towards your child first. You're gonna slide and put a little bit more on his plate versus the other man of the other child.
When we frame it around resources, everything becomes clear. And when we make it around your children's future, it becomes even more crystal clear. And I think this is a huge political gulf as well. This is why the liberals right now are the party of the elite, because feminism and fighting racism, all these niche things, feminism doesn't affect you so much when you have the money to protect yourself. But like if you're a regular guy, like half of your pension is a fucking lie. Half of Jeff Bezos's net worth is still billions and billions of dollars left over. And so there's this problem where like the elites can fuck around with these bourgeois kind of niche ideas, but the lower class people, it's hell on the other people.
No, I do agree with you. You know, there's a point where all the feminism doesn't really affect you, hell, because the women are benefiting from your alpha male successes there. So, look, I'm gonna let Universal Jones. Oh, you guys got some last words? I'll let Universal Jones end it out here before we go.
I just looked up the stats on child abuse. It was as current as 2022. And the largest group is American Indian or Alaskan Native, then African American, and then multiple race households.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think those multiple race households are?
I mean,
Black women with mixed kids.
Bingo.
Yeah.
That is correct.
So if you add those two groups together, they might surpass the American Indian group.
And you know, well, yeah, it's interesting. I enjoy this conversation with Universal Jones because, like, I think you come to this conclusion buttressed by data and statistics and whatnot, and that's kind of the thing. You know, I say a lot of hyperbolic stuff, and it's emotionally triggering, but it's always supported by the data. Right. And if you actually care to look, then you'll start to see there's a huge problem here. And like I was saying the other day, it's not all the men. Simply dumping on all the men will not get you any closer to fixing things. And in fact, it's only going to push the men further away.
Right. And we're seeing that happen.
I didn't hear anything that was emotionally triggering. I just didn't know why it was important. And I still stand on that. I still think this is not a topic of value in any of our lives. It doesn't make us younger, richer, healthier. It's just banter, I guess.
Okay.
Let me let Universal get his last word. Sam, I am left. Go ahead, Universal.
Yeah.
What up here? What you got?
Yeah, well, I appreciate the conversation, John. Thanks for reaching out. We'll continue this series. We'll add and build onto this idea. Ultimately, I think this divide between Black male and Black females, I don't think that there's no reversing back. We can only hope that we can get as many folks together in a healthy relationship or whatever dynamic is possible. But I think the toothpaste is out of the tube on this one. And it's been going on for so long that there isn't any turning back. And these conversations will continue to happen because I think it's a subconscious thing. I don't think we realize this, but this is one of our core issues. I know Stanley likes to talk about parenting, but this gets right to the parenting issue. We could talk about neighborhoods and communities. All this gets back to Black male, Black female dynamics. And I think that, as we continue to move forward, we're going to see a growing apart more than a coming together. So those will be my closing thoughts on it so far.
Universal, I think you're definitely right. You really put a bug in my ear in terms of that technology and with health insurance. enabling the women to have children without a father.
Yep.
You look at this right here. Here's a message that I got from a tenant a while back. She got hit by a scooter, broke her leg. She'd also had a miscarriage, and she had gotten rid of her man, saying like, look, man, fuck it. If I'm gonna struggle, I'll be by myself. I already miscarried with you. Why the fuck should I go on with you struggling? Fuck it, right? Which, feeds into what you're saying. Then you see a message like this where someone sends me another woman laying up in the bed with a man, and then she has to send this text while laying up in the bed with the man, and she sends me this. I only have $40, and you're laying up in the bed with the man like, fuck it, I can get $40 by myself. Right? What the hell do I need a man for? Right? And again, the pregnant woman, the woman that just had a baby, all of these are examples of seemingly where, the choice, they would seemingly have to start looking at, damn, do I really need this man around? If you say the toys, the rose is that good, and fertility plants treatment, is getting more and more effective, what's the point of a man if he can't even get you up out of a room?
Right.
And I think the Black women, more so than anyone else, and this is why I think this topic is interesting. You work with this, you analyze this, you're in the dating market as well. And I deal with them when they come home, frustrated and shit, because they ain't got but $40. And I think this is fairly unique to them, Universal. I think all the other groups are having a better chance of either pairing or their parents, fathers are taking care of them, not keeping them, not allowing them to interact with people like me, or bringing their frustrations of housing to their job.
Right.
Having you deal with it. Right. So anyway, that's what prompted me.
This is a very unique problem that I think Black women aren't being honest enough about, or they just don't care and they're accepting the position. But I think Hood hit on a lot of things. I think Kimmy's points highlight a lot of things as well. That socialism mindset, I think, is really what's holding a lot of Black women, Black people, period, but especially Black women back. Is they believe in this country, they believe that they're all in it together. And there's a little bit of that you have to let go of to survive in this gangster country, because it is a gangster country. And you need to get in where you can fit in. And if you ain't paying attention, you will drown. You will drown.
University, give me your thoughts on this before we get out of here.
What is it? We got kids popping balloons. What the hell's going on?
Oh, step aside. Step aside. Look for you. Here for you, little bro. Oh, step aside. Step aside. Look for your mama. Okay. I'll touch.
Wait, he pulled up on his mama? What is
step
going
aside. Step aside. Look for your mama.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll touch. Mama.
I'm here for you.
Here for you, little bro. Oh, step aside. Step aside. Look for your mama.
I said this on the stream and I got killed in the chat for this, but I'm trying to not have my heart go completely black. I feel part of me feels bad when I see kids doing stuff like this, smoking in the Bank of America ATM, not going to school. Like, there is still a part of me, you can call it simping or whatever people want to call it, that has a level of like care for young people, that they still have an opportunity. But what do we honestly think is going to become of either one of these young men in this video clip? His mindset is already focused on pussy, period.
Already.
And it's not anything wrong with that. I like pussy myself. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with it. But I can go there and I can get out of there when I need to. That's not my primary goal, and it's not my primary focus. And I know it comes along with the things that I am focused on. But for him, he ain't 12 years old. Talking about, I'm here for your mama.
Here for your mama.
And the crazy thing about it, John, is that little boy probably has already had sex with a young girl or woman that's older than him. I would not be surprised.
Oh, I got a story for University. I hope she answers the phone. This is a teacher that used to teach in the hood. Shit, John Galt went to speak at this school one time. She invited me over to I was a younger man then, and I guess she saw something in me. She said, you'd be great to come speak to my students. And she told me a story. And I would love for her to tell you the story. Let me see if I can get her on the phone. It's my business partner, by the way. Oh, if I can get her to tell this story. Oh, man, it's going to blow your mind.
Hello?
You're on with John Galt. I got a question to ask you. I need you to tell me a story real quick. I know you're busy.
Okay. I'm on my way to the airport. What's going on?
You remember that little young nigga that you had that was a student of yours? And he came to the parent-teacher conference and he had a grown woman. You remember that?
A what?
A grown woman. He had him a woman. I got him. He had it. Well, I got a woman. Yeah, he had a woman. Way out of town. He had a woman. You remember that story you told me about that young boy that was in
You gotta tell me more.
He was in your school and he came to a parent-teacher conference or something. And his mama was like, yeah, he lived with a woman. You remember that shit? You remember that? You remember
Listen.
No, go ahead.
Right now, and I've been drinking since about 8 o'clock.
Well, anyway,
you gotta tell me a little bit more.
You were telling me about a story about a young boy that had to come to a school conference or some parent-teacher conference, but he was living. He was living with like his girlfriend, who was a grown-ass woman. And so his mama came to the school for the parent-teacher conference, and it was like her first time seeing him in a few days, you know, because he lived with the woman. Right? Do you remember this shit?
Nah, you sure that was me?
Yeah, hell yeah. This is about 15 years ago, right? Well, maybe you were teaching over here in PG County somewhere. Remember I spoke at your school, right? Remember I spoke at your school?
I wish I did.
Damn,
you did come up there. You did. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. I've been down. I told you. You have to come down here. I told you what time it is and what time I started. But hey, look, it's very potentially true.
Let me ask you this question.
Down there teaching in Southeast Maryland, which is right down there.
Yeah.
Down there, Oxon Hill, Southeast Maryland.
Well, let me ask you this question then, just to get to the gist. Is it like, have you had any or heard of any young men that students having grown women as girlfriends?
Me? No, I haven't not heard of it, but I've heard stories of it. No, because I work in Montgomery County, so.
No, I mean back when you were teaching.
But I will tell you I will tell you a story when I first got here.
Okay, tell us.
And I taught sixth grade, and the kids. You know, I had never come to a place where the kids was as bad as the fuck as they was in PG County in Southeast Maryland. And for those people that don't know what Southeast Maryland is, it's right across the street from Southeast DC. Berry Farms, one of the worst parts of DC.
It's in my backyard.
Right?
You know where I'm sitting right now. You know it's in my backyard, right? If I go
that's your backyard. Your backyard. And I'll never forget the little nigga told me, Miss House, you got that bubble. You look good in some pair of Suco jeans. The young dude was trying to come at me, trying to pick me up, and still got that bubble. You got that bubble. In sixth grade, I never will, but I got that bubble.
What you had on? You had your pair of Sucos on. You did motherfucking tight.
I know. I ain't dressed like that, but that's what they was used to. You know.
Do you think that little boy would have jumped on your bubble if you gave him the opportunity?
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! I just had look, I'm in New Orleans right now. I just had an 18-year-old try to get on this bubble, and I'm 50. You know, I mean, from 12 or 13 to 50. I mean, the 18 ain't that many years. You know, yeah, man. You know, I mean, I'm pretty sure when you was that out, you would have jumped on a bubble.
I got two more. You know, hey, I got two questions for you. Do you remember? Or two. Are you married?
No, you know I ain't married.
I know, but this is for the audience. Do you have any children?
No.
Okay. We're doing a stream about Black women and, you know, things like that. That, you know, the things that face. This is what this stream is about. This is my business partner, by the way. Eben, I ain't gonna say your name, but this is my business partner, by the way. You remember we threw the? Remember the first nigga we had to throw out? Remember that me and you had to do it because lovely Lisa wouldn't do that shit.
Oh yeah. I said I'm on my way.
Yeah.
And we'll throw a nigga out tomorrow if I need to.
Now, Ebony,
we'll throw another one out.
Ebony, would you say you do better with men than say real nice women? Let's say like lovely Lisa.
You said, do I do better than nice women?
Do you think you do better with men than say a lovely Lisa?
You know, my mother always raised me, the more you treat these men like shit, the more they like it. And that's the truth. Because men like a challenge. And so a woman that caters to a man ain't gonna get but so far. You gotta be willing to do what a man would do.
Universal,
and that's the truth.
We got a man on the panel. Universal, what do you think about it? You like a little challenge?
A little challenge is okay, but how long are we going to be going through the challenge is the question.
Now, Universal has a question for you.
I don't know. You know what Jay-Z.
Hold on. Universal has a question, but that question needs to be, the answer needs to be prefaced. She's dark skinned, but she looks Ethiopian with long silky hair, right? Is that right? Am I describing you correctly? Yeah. Right?
Yes.
So
With a bubble. With a bubble,
right? So now all this makes a difference, right? See, this is what we're talking about, the challenges of Black women dating. And you got long, silky hair, straight hair. Would you say that's fair?
Yeah.
And how long would you say your hair is your natural hair?
My natural hair is long.
How long would you
Probably
say?
Down to the middle of my back.
Down to the middle of your back. It is straight, right?
You know,
I can run my hands through it and not be kinked all up and shit. That's what we tried to get at, right? Could you run your hands through it and not be kinked? Is a yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And your skin color is not like an African American black. It's like a Ethiopian.
It's
black.
Indian. I got a red undertone.
Universal. Now, do you want to comment on this, Universal?
Yes. So we've been asking women and other folks this question about the difference between light skin and dark skinned Black women. In your experience, have you noticed a preference either direction?
Oh yeah. It's much more harder to date as a dark woman, and I got what you would say, quote unquote, white features. But you know that you know, slavery is, you know, that residuals of slavery and what men like is still there. And so I've seen some ugly ass light skinned Black women have less problem than a pretty Black woman. And if you've got kinky hair and, you know, all that stuff, you got even more problems. So I probably do better than most just because I have whiter features, you know, the hair, the nose, the skin complexion.
The bubble.
You know, even though I'm darker, I'm like red undertone. So, you know, but definitely.
And when she says she's dark in Universal, like what she's talking about is like a Ethiopian looking dark.
Yeah.
You're in Minnesota, you understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah. No,
well, if you're familiar with certain Indian tribes, it's more like that. Where a certain like Blackfoot, very dark complected Indians with a red undertone.
Right.
Yeah, I'm familiar.
You know, the straight hair type shit. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this question. In the Black community, you do live in PG County. You go. I know you, so I know you go to a lot of Black spots. Do the Black men come on to you because of your foreign-looking features?
Yes, that and my figure, because I have hips and butt. That's the attraction. But back in the day, absolutely, men would come after me because they thought I was Ethiopian. You know, they thought I was. So they're looking for an exotic looking woman.
Got it. Interesting. Do you get more comments on your hair?
I used to hide my Blackness. I used to say, you know, when people say, well, where are you from? And because I was offended that, you know, Black wasn't enough, I would say, I don't tell people where I'm from. It's offensive, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Being a Black woman, you know, that maybe doesn't look like a traditional black woman that you've seen is not enough for you. You want to date somebody just because they're exotic looking or because they have the straight hair features, certain features.
Right. Would you say that you got more comments on your hair or your curves?
On my hair, no. I get the most comments on, surprisingly, I get the most comments on my skin. And then next after that is my figure.
Okay.
And then next after that is my hair.
Got it.
When my hair is longer as opposed to shorter, I get men are more attracted to longer hair, even though they say they ain't, but they are. But my skin is always top. 1,000 people comment on my skin.
Because your skin is very unique, right? That's probably what it is, right?
I mean, I don't notice it, but that's what I'm just telling you the truth.
Right. Yeah, no, it's very unique. Yeah. Anyway.
Skin and figure. I mean, y'all ain't seeing me, but I got a lot of hips and a lot of butt.
I see.
We believe it. We can only imagine. We can only imagine.
Yeah. When I'm trying to get rent paid, I put on the shortest shorts.
Well, you coming back from New Orleans, so I know you had a good time down there.
What are you doing down there in New Orleans?
Great time.
What are you doing down there in New Orleans, by the way?
Came to see the Commanders Saints game. Came to see a couple bands. Came to eat some good food.
Bring the Redskins back.
Yeah,
Bring me
Saints
some
played
beignets
the
back.
Commanders.
Bring me some beignets back.
Huh?
Bring me some beignets back from that place.
Man, I would have, but I'm pulling up to the airport right now. I'm about to get out the car shortly.
You see some of them good
But if y'all
fruit.
ever want to, if you ever want me to tell you about the black man, call me back.
Oh, that might be the next.
That might be the next episode.
I probably know as much from the gutter to the heavens.
You guys want to hear a black man type of shit? We had to get
Yeah, we'll have to bring her back for sure.
Hey, so look,
yeah.
Before we let you off here, any other question, Universe? I got one or two.
No, I don't have any more.
Yeah, let's see. I got a question for you. I'm gonna go a landlord.
I got a question for y'all. Y'all more prone to date women with white features, straight hair?
That is topic of the day. Yeah. What about you, Universal?
Not straight hair. I do prefer natural hair, but not straight. No.
So my hair is naturally straight. Would you not prefer me? Do you?
Well, based on what the other quality, so I look at it as a combo. But based on the other qualities you told me, yes, you would be somebody that I would be attracted to. Based on what you
want to bubble.
What other quality is that?
Good
night. I will try.
Well, the first thing.
Bubble.
Well, what I picked up from this call so far, you like to have a good time, which so do I. You got the red underskin tone, which I like. You talked about your hair. The bubble's like fourth. You got a nice voice, so I'm assuming the other features in your face may be nice as well.
Oh, she's very nice looking, Universe. Very nice looking.
Well, what the truth of the matter is, I think, person wants somebody who can make them smile. That's what if you go to a strip club, it ain't necessarily about the prettiest woman. It's about the woman that can make a man feel good.
True.
And that's the truth. So if you got a little bit extra on top of making a man feel good, you winning.
All good. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yep. All right. I got to get on this flight, y'all.
All right.
Have a safe trip.
Invite me to the next one. I can't wait to tell y'all the truth.
What are you going to tell us
All
about?
right.
What are you going to tell us about?
I got so many thoughts in this head. It would blow the audience's mind.
We're ready to be born. In more ways than one.
The bubble, Universal. The bubble.
Hey, man, a bubble makes a difference. Man, there are men who will look past a lot of things for that bubble, man.
But Universal, man, and she probably wasn't a very good example to call because she had very exotic features.
Yeah.
Right. But she's black. And so, she's going to get a lot of attention, her hair, her features, the bubble, right? You know what I'm saying? So you got three good things going for her, right? Whereas, that hair, man, like, a motherfucker take an ugly woman with that
Yeah.
long, and her shit is long and straight. You know what I'm saying? And she a little hood, so she can get. That's what I was trying to get her into. You can tell she a little hood,
She
right?
can, she can code switch a little bit, which I like. I like a variety. I like a little when we can show up to this spot, do this, then we can be ourselves here. Like I like that.
Right. She can go to the hood spot, you know, she can go. So she's gonna have a larger variety of men. That's why you don't hear many complaints from her.
Right.
If you notice it, right? It's more positive. She want to talk about the men.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of women ain't got no men to talk about.
Right. Even though she doesn't have a man and she doesn't have any kids, she still knows she can get them.
Well, she's gonna have a man for the season type. Those are the women. Right? She got a house, she can always take in a man and have a good time. Younger man need a place to lay up and have a good time. She can do that. She's doing very well for herself, right?
Right.
She can, go to, like what's today? Monday? She's in fucking New Orleans.
Monday. Yeah, she's coming back home.
Right, drunk, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She could take a man down to the Commanders game with her. She found a hood ghetto, right? They're like a little ghetto action, right?
That's not normal behavior to travel out of state to go to your local team's game. That's not, everyday people can't do that type of shit. So
anyway, so we have a question, Universal.
To the two hosts, what is your intent with this discussion? What do you hope to gain from it? Well, the intent was just to flesh out an issue that we've seen take place both online and in our real lives about this divide between Black men and Black women, but really an element of that divide around dark skin. So we were jumping around with a few different topics as far as how do dark skin and lighter skin Black women, how do they see the dating world? How do they engage with each other? And then how do men perceive them as well? So that's ultimately what we were doing. We weren't looking to gain much, but some clarity and understanding, and just put the issue out on the table.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's always interesting to cover topics that you might not see elsewhere. Interesting format. We had a couple of people call in, or we had a couple calls. We had 3 calls today. So I'm thinking it may be interesting going forward. Not necessarily with this topic. There are other topics. Universal hires people, and so he sees this dynamic from a different angle than many people may see it. That we have people in the comments, JQ as an example, talking about how it affects his workplace. A bunch of single women in the workplace typically is going to cause problems. A bunch of single women chasing the same dwindling few men is going to cause real serious problems. And so those are some of the things we were talking about. And then as a landlord, I see certain things that you may not see when the people clock out and they go home, and it's that single woman and she's struggling to pay all those bills, and she's looking for a man, and and all the dynamics that go there. The women with multiple children with one baby daddy paying more child support than the rest of the kids, and how they kind of treat them differently. So it's kind of interesting topics. So we'll cover more topics, and if you have some suggestions on topics that we could cover, we're more than welcome to take those into consideration. Anyway, I thought it's been interesting, Universal Jones. Some people agree with it. I guess Santan may not.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. They are still talking about this on the other stream, so we'll see.
I can't imagine what Stanley's saying. What is Stanley saying?
I don't know what Stanley's saying. I know Virgo's up there, so they probably been battling it out a few times.
But I don't think we've been critical, have we? You would say we've been critical.
I don't think we have. I mean, we've been pretty objective on the topic.
Yeah, we brought 2 women on who were pretty who didn't really have any complaints, right?
No.
More attractive women, probably on the other side of the spectrum in terms of attractiveness.
Yeah.
But anyway, interesting.
Even Kimmy was kind of
That's right. Kimmy Case was up here too. Man, we got to get more women up here next time.
Yeah, man, we have to have at least 3 different women on here. I think also we probably need to bring them on one-on-one, just like we did, so they can just have their voice heard without. Because what I noticed and I think men do this too, but I think women do it more than men. They form like Voltron, and then you can't really decipher what they all think because they disagree with each other all the time.
Yeah, we kind of had them up here separately this time.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So we got to hear just their perspectives. That I think that works better.
Yeah. What did you think about the last lady they called my business?
I like her. She sounds like she's a lot of fun. She sounds like she's a lot of fun.
She want to come back.
Keeping it real. I think bringing her back would be good just to talk specifically about black men and maybe the title is, what is wrong with black men? Just leave it open. Just let them have a field day.
Yeah. She would have some very interesting perspectives. Do you hire any black men, by the way, Universal?
Yeah, I have 3 black males working in my agency right now. Yeah. So I don't have the same issues as I do with black women. Usually they're just kind of quiet, get their stuff done, and they tap in when they need to and they tap out. Like I don't have many issues with black men.
There you go. All right, man. I think it's been a great stream. I think I'm gonna head over to the other stream. Guys in the chat. In the channel. Hey, Universal, put your let me put your channel in the
YouTube. Yeah, let me throw it in there. It might y'all might still have it. Let me put it in there.
Let me see if I got it.
So for folks who want to subscribe, I'm gonna have some content coming soon. I know I've been slacking. I've simulcasted a little bit with John's channel, but definitely subscribe to my YouTube. The link is in the chat right now. It's by Brandon Jones. Brandon is my actual name. Go ahead and subscribe. A lot of different content already over there. I think I got about 116 videos already posted from previous podcasts I've done, interviews, not just on relationships, but on a lot of different topics. I do have a podcast coming up with Lolo. Me and Lolo will be doing a podcast together. Hopefully soon. We got to reschedule. And then there's just more content to come. I'm gonna do a show kind of like this, John, where I'm gonna do like a radio show. I'm gonna have a topic, probably a subtopic, and I'm gonna go live probably like for about 2 hours once or twice a week and just have callers come in one-on-one instead of doing the panels.
Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to do it. I want to reach out to what they call it, subject matter experts.
Yeah, subject matter experts. Yeah.
And I think you are good for I don't like to say relationships. I think you can talk about a lot more things. Relationships, like interpersonal relationships.
Yeah, like human dynamics is probably one way to talk about it.
But yeah. And so, man, on those type of topics that I come up with, man, I'll probably reach out to you, lean on you to flesh those issues out. I think it's interesting to me.
Sounds good to me.
All right, guys. Hey, man, thank you all for chiming in on one of the first, maybe 2 or 3 series we do on this topic. At least the next one we're doing motherhood, parenthood. We kind of touched on it with the fibroid issue. Did you say you didn't know that about the fibroids? Huh,
well, I know a little bit about it because some of my work crosses over into maternal health, and they talk about it over there. But I do know that it is a big problem with women. I didn't know that 80% of black women will have fibroid issues. That is alarming. That's pretty scary.
You know what they call it? Yeah, I tell you, what they call it?
What do they call it?
Black women's disease.
Jesus Christ!
It's like what is it? Colloquial, whatever.
Colloquial.
Professional black woman.
Damn.
So many professional black women delay childhood. To the point they end up with fibroids, and then you got to address your fibroids before you can successfully.
Wow.
Whereas if you've had your children by that time, you may not even care if you have fibroids. So it's a very interesting topic.
John, I bet most black women who are entering that stage, that window of fertility, I bet you don't even know that.
Man, I can tell you. Go ahead.
I'm just thinking of women that I know that are right now 32, 33 years old, and they haven't had kids yet. I wonder if they are aware of how much of a. I think they're aware of how much of a issue bringing a child on. I think they call that a geriatric pregnancy, but I don't know if they're aware of the fibroid issue. That's crazy.
I had a friend of mine. She was trying to conceive. We were trying to conceive. How about that? And so she had a black doctor. People want to go to black doctors, blah, blah, blah. She was black. And so the doctor never noticed, pattern recognition that maybe you have fibroids that's preventing you from getting pregnant. Never addressed the issue until, another doctor suggested, a white doctor, by the way. And so I think, there could be many issues where the women are trying to conceive and not getting proper recognition or diagnosis of what the issue is preventing them from getting pregnant, conceiving. Because many doctors may not make the connection because this woman's doctor did not, right? So anyway, it's a very interesting topic. Maybe we cover that one.
Yeah, we can cover that too.
Anyway, guys, for joining. We had 19 people in the audience. We had about 27, 30 people at some point, give or take. Anyway, thank you guys. Show some support for Universal Jones' channel. He's doing good work out there. Give you guys some psychological insight here. There you go. And thanks again for joining, guys. Head over to the other stream, by the way.
Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should go. Feel like I should go. Feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should, feel like I should. Feel like I should go.